Hey, what's up, guys? Hartman here, and we got a special guest tonight. You know him, you love him, Chris the Candyman, the Fantasy Football Garage, stopping by. Uh, we've done quite a few streams together, so nice to get him over here on Hartman channel. Get a couple BBMs done.
Ayo,
How
we
you doing
back in the
tonight?
streets. What's up, Hartman? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. This is super random, and there's no underdog contest for it, so I know that it's gonna go right over your head. Because if it's, and I know you go deep in the WNBA, but unless there's an underdog contest for it, I'm sure it's not on your radar. Tonight is the College World Series softball finals between the Texas Longhorns and the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and it's a matchup of last year's final where the Longhorns won in it's a 2 out of 3. They won in 2 games. Tonight it's also it's a rematch. So it's like if the Spurs and the Knicks played again next year. It's like the exact same 2 teams made it out of the brackets. It's crazy.
Wow. Well, I mean that's pretty cool. Your Longhorns are in there. You're
Yeah,
probably rooting
yeah.
for
And
those.
they're I'm about to check in on the score, but last time I looked away, they were winning. It's and so let's see where they're at. Yeah, they won. It's over. 7-3. Fucking stomped them. And so here's the other part of the lore. My brother played baseball at Texas Tech. He was kind of a hot shot pitcher there for them. They went to the College Baseball World Series, and he was a pitcher for them back in 17-18. And my sister also graduated from Texas Tech. So my only 2 siblings, both are Texas Tech Red Raiders, and I'm the Longhorn in the family. So it's like, boom, perfect mix up. So we've been shit talking in my family chat all night. And the big question for tonight was what colors was my dad repping as he was watching the softball games? He's like chilling, and he texted the family group chat that he was wearing burnt orange before the game,
Oh, there we go.
first pitch.
Represent.
So repping. So, and of course, yeah, then of course Texas destroys them. I mean, 7-3. That's a big statement win right there. First game. So it's best 2 out of 3. So I'm tracking that, and then of course, guys, we already talked about it, but a little bit. We got the NBA Finals kicking off, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it's kind of a fun matchup, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, should be pretty exciting. Like didn't really expect to see the Knicks in the finals. So
I know no one did. I think that's
yeah, that's the biggest shocker of them all. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it should be a really good series. Like
a good series. It's I'm fingers crossed on what happens, but it's so obvious that it's like the Spurs to lose. Um, so being a Rockets fan and being from Houston, and then you see the dichotomy of like the Spurs as like a franchise and always being the kind of the team to beat in the Texas sphere. Like Dallas is okay. The Rockets are okay. They haven't been good for a long time, like really good. Even the James Harden years were fine. The T Mac years were fine. Yao Ming, all of that. But like the Spurs have always just been like, it's like, damn, it's just whether it was Pop or just all the all stars they had, all the legends, Hall of Famers, the Spurs are like, and I've been to some Spurs games. It's their fans are a little bit aggressive. I would say that.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So when I was living in Austin, we would grab being from Houston, we'd get our like Houston friend group that was living in Austin when we were in school. And San Antonio is like less than an hour. So like with terrible traffic, like a full hour. So we would go to some Rockets Spurs games in San Antonio. But like if you show up into the San Antonio to a Spurs game and you're not rocking Spurs gear, like everyone just like scowls at you the whole time. Like little kids will run up to you and like laugh at you and point at you, and like it's like a family thing. It's like they go pretty hard. Like the Spurs are pretty diehard fans. Like they don't mess around because it's like their only professional sports team as well. And also they're like typically pretty good. So
Yeah, I guess that makes sense when you don't really have another local team, huh? Like you'd really buy in because I guess most basketball team cities, it's kind of like they usually have multiple sports there.
yeah, a
Yep.
lot. That's so true. Like I always remember it's kind of like between when the Chargers were in San Diego and then like the LA football teams, they have like the worst fan bases because First off, if you live in LA or in San Diego, the last thing you're going to do is like go to a professional like football game. Like the weather's perfect. There's beaches. There's like a million things to do. It's mostly cities where you have like no alternatives, and it's like your getaway is the professional sports team that have like the most diehard fans. So, and no shade to any particular cities, but like some cities where like the winters are especially tough or like kind of shitty. Like you have like Philadelphia or whatever comes to mind. You have like diehard Eagles fans that are a bunch of like or like other places too. But I just hear all these stories about you like traveling fans. One time my buddy went in his Texans gear to a Washington Commanders game before they were the Commanders, you know what I'm saying? And he got spit on by he had cheap tickets and he got spit on by one of their fans, and he was just like, what the fuck? Like we in Houston, you might get into a fight if you're like a drunk asshole, but like no one's ever gonna spit on you.
Yeah, that's crazy behavior. I mean, like I've gone to like Raiders games when they were still in Oakland and like, you know, Lions gear.
That is a crazy fan base as well.
Yeah, no, they're I don't know, sometimes they'll be kind of aggressive, but I feel like it depends on what team you're rocking. Like I don't feel like I got too much hate because the Lions also kind of sucked at the time. But like if you're rocking a good team against like Cowboys, I would notice some of those people getting razzed because you know people always show up in their Cowboys gear. Doesn't matter who's playing who. There's always someone in Dak Prescott or CD Lamb jersey.
True. So I've been to Jerry World. I've been to their stadium. I will say this. I find and I'm a Texans fan. Like we don't like the Cowboys, but I found the Cowboys fans to be like extremely respectable. Like they kind of like lean into it, but no one's gonna like, I don't know. Maybe if you're a drunk asshole, you get into a fight at a Cowboys game, but that's kind of on you. Like I feel as far as like a opposing fan base goes, pretty good all around. Pretty good experience. Nice stadium, and then the people there are just kind of like enjoying being there more than they are like, oh fuck you, you're on another team.
Yeah, no, that is nice. Like I don't know, it is cool feeling that like big energy and the rowdiness, but yeah, sometimes when people take it a little bit too serious, it kind of stops being fun. That's yeah, I don't know. Jerry World would definitely be near the top of my list, like ones to like go see someday, see the actual stadium. I bet that place just crazy.
It's pretty cool. They made it like a master planned sports complex. You have Globe Life right there, and then you have Jerry World. They built these really nice luxury like 5-star hotels that I've never stayed at. I either stay with like my sister who lives in Dallas or my brother who lives in Fort Worth. But like if I do stay at a hotel, I would just stay in like a cheaper hotel. Like, I wouldn't like it, but if like if you're trying to like, if you're a big baller and you want to go to Jerry World for the college football playoffs or something, they have really nice hotels that have like 5-star restaurants and things that are right next to it. You can like stay at and then walk to the stadium. And then around the stadium, there's also like a bar district that has like a country music bar with live music, and there's other like cool stuff going on. So like it's kind of like a happening spot, and it's away from a lot of things. So it's kind of like its own place. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty well done. And I went there. The last time I was there was when Texas played Ohio State in the college football semifinals 2 seasons ago. This was when Ohio State went on to win it with Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. And so we were me and some of my other Longhorn friends, my brother, we went to the game. And before the game started, out in like the kind of like entryway to the stadium, they had DJ Shaquille O'Neal playing an EDM set, like as like the intro band. Like so, Shaq was literally like playing like a he was like the DJ. It was kind of crazy. So we were coming in, and I was like, "What?" I didn't realize it at first. I was like, "Is that Shaquille O'Neal?" And I was like, "Wait a second." And so instead of like walking right into the stadium, we kind of like turned left and went, and there's like a big crowd of people, and Shaq is just like pretending to be a DJ. And I'm sure they paid him a ton of money to be there, but like it was wild. And then we get in there, and like immediately on the field, we see like Matthew McConaughey, Bijan Robinson was there as like a fan. Like he's like his own little box area. There was actually a lot of celebrities at that game, because the Ohio State had a pretty good amount of their like celebrity fan base too. So it was Yeah, I'm trying to. I forget exactly who it was, but it was. I didn't like run into any of them in like the concourse or anything, but we had pretty good tickets. We were behind the field goal post in one of the end zones, but I was in the end zone where 1 minute before halftime, the Longhorns kick off the ball. Travion Henderson is the kick returner. Um, well, actually, this was the next. So then it was the next play. The very next play, the Ohio State offense has the ball, and it's like 1st and 10 on like their 25-yard line or whatever. They have like the whole field to go, and they throw a screen pass to Travion, and he like makes one corner miss, and then there's no one on that side of the field, and then Travion just houses the ball, and it totally flipped the momentum. Texas was in the lead, and they're going to be in the lead going into halftime, and then Travion like took over the game, and he scored in the end zone where I was, and I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "This is bad."
Yeah, yeah, that's like kind of the moment where you feel the momentum shift.
Oh, totally. And I was like, "Oh God, no one even touched him." It was just like a screen pass to your fast running back, and then the defense just like the pursuit angles were just off. Like they never had a chance to get him once he was like out of contain. So, but no, good times and yeah, man, dude, tons of NFL news has been coming out. I know the whole June 1st thing is kind of like a big week, but I feel like this is a pretty good week to capitalize on and in drafts and like the ADP movements.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, especially if you're kind of more not wanting to buy into all the big risers like the Eagles and stuff, like you might be able to snag a couple values, and then like obviously with the Jacob stuff, kind of depending how you're feeling, like you might be able to snag a huge value or sink a few teams, one of the two. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely a few. How are you feeling about that new AJ Brown price? About him going up to closer to like 21, 20?
Buy.
All right.
Because by the time it's August, he's going to be like pick. Here's the debate. At what point do we start drafting AJ Brown over the running backs that go in round 2? Because to me, it's clearly an AJ Brown versus Drake London situation. And if you tell me that all else equal, I have Drake May versus Tua and or Michael Penix, I'm like, I kind of want the Drake May stack. I kind of want the Drake May top receiver. AJ Brown is a dog. He's an alpha. I like London too, but who is the engine of their offense? Is London the engine of his offense? No, it's fucking Bijan. It's day one Bijan, Kevin Stefanski, new offense. London is nice. But then if you look at the Patriots, yeah, AJ Brown could literally be like the center point of their passing offense, and just their offense in general. I know they like to run the ball too, and the defense isn't bad. So I had more to consider. I have to really like think it through and look at some more key data points on how my projection changes for AJ Brown. But to me, we've been drafting AJ Brown in the second round, in the early second, in like the 1-2 turn for most fantasy seasons. Like, what's different now? He has the best quarterback of his entire career right now.
Right. Yeah, I pretty much agree wholeheartedly with you. I'm all in Drake May, AJ Brown. That could be very well the connection you need this year.
Yeah, let me dig into something here. I've got up last year's data. I'm going to go to the second half of the season and just see if it's any different. But
Well,
AJ
hey,
Brown, what's
oh,
up?
good. Let me catch up to the chat real quick,
Yeah, you
and then
catch up with the chat. I'm going to pull up some data that on AJ
all
Brown.
all right. Hey, what's up, Brett Nichols, Brew Crew? Thanks for stopping by, brother. What's up, Downdraft BBM with you? Hell yeah. We'll be hopping in just a minute. Hey, what's up, Zero? What's up, Pud Daddy? What's up, Money Anything? Jeff T. Didn't draft Sky Scheffler. Team's dead. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's all about getting that 101. What up, guys? Hey, what's up, Jamie? Thanks for stopping by, bro. It sounds like your family makes terrible life choices. Yeah, it should all be Texas fans. Number 5 like, hey, Art, hey, Candy. What's up, Fancy Dog? Hallie Line, hey, guys. Hey, what's up, Hallie Line? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Got a fresh roast in. Don't let me down, guys. Not looking good, Zero. Not looking good tonight. Nick's being foul's not shocking. Your entire family is Red Raiders fans. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, Candyman reps the Longhorns pretty hard. It's a little surprising. Yo, Jimmy Hill Lion. Candyman's on stream, just saying hi to myself 30 minutes in the past. Fair. I'm doing the same. I'm ripping the same strat these days. Oh my, that's assault. Oh dang, Glass are back, making a special guest appearance. The year 1967, Chicago at Cleveland. Giants sail with Gale. Banner lasted till almost halftime. Huh. I mean, that's pretty cool. Ripped to shreds. Oh, the opposing fans. Gotcha. Go Bucks. By the time this comment gets read, I will take my hovercraft across the Atlantic. Hopefully,
that was that was so fucking funny. Your stream, was that like Sunday or was it Monday? I forget when. It was Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah. Sunday was when I was like way behind. Like
you were like 50
45
minutes behind. We were just dying in the chat. It was like it became like a meme.
Yeah. I didn't realize till like way too late that I was that far.
No, I know, because it took the first time I said "What's up, Hartman?" It took you 45 minutes to see that, and I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. I'm getting better though. I'm getting more in the.
Well, that's what Zero's saying. He's like, "Is this a live stream or a video premiere?" Because we haven't interacted with the chat at all. Also, Hartman, who am I?
Wait. Oh, well, you're dead. So you're Brandon Ayuk, maybe?
No, I'm fucking Caleb Williams on the Madden cover.
Oh, Caleb. I guess you're right. I saw like two pictures. I saw one where he was like chucking it or something. That one looked like shit too. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Caleb. I guess I'm surprised it wasn't like Drake May.
Dude, the literal worst pick for a Madden cover. I'm not defending him at all. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Why would we pick Caleb Williams in his sophomore year to be on the cover of Madden? What the fuck did he do? It should have been Matt Stafford. It should have been Drake May. It should have been Ken Walker. It should have been JSN. I can name 10 players off the top of my head right now more deserving. Like, he's not even the top 10.
Yeah, it is bizarre. I mean, obviously they're just picking some young like new star, but it's just like
Drake May, JSN.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Drake May and JSN, they play good enough to just make themselves stars. Caleb's an industry plant. You know, he was the number one pick a year before the draft even happened. You know, he's on the Madden cover without deserving it. Industry plant.
So fucking true.
No, Jill, no Shaq is deputy sheriff. Yep, Dr. Shaq. Hell yeah. All right. Money, Reminders and Jim. AJB 23 turn, 2-3 turns where I'm at all day with him. Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. I'd pick him a little higher. I think we were both just saying that. What's up, guys?
You know what it was? When Caleb Williams was the quarterback at OU, it was like, oh, this guy could have something. But then when he went to USC and he was living in LA, that's when he became the industry plant. That's when they got to him.
Yeah. No, I mean I can see that. I mean, they've raised a few, right? They've raised a few out of there. So I can see it. Roast Lowell and cooked. Pulling double duty live tonight. If I had known you'd be live, I wouldn't have asked. What's he?
Oh shit! Was that my internet or your internet?
I think that was mine. Sorry.
Okay.
Am I good now? Or
yeah, you're good.
Oh, wait, what's Emo talking about? Is he talking to you?
I'm not sure. There's a mock draft that is going on at 10 that I am taking part in, but it won't distract from the live stream.
Oh,
I'm not going live on that.
Oh, gotcha. Chad just got stud leader. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks even for stopping by. What's up? Madden Kurt's guarantee. Candyman bringing it. Madden cover should have been Titans long snapper. JT should have been Madden cover now. I'm forced to get overweight.
JT easily a better pick than Caleb Williams. Christian McCaffrey easily a better pick than Caleb Williams.
Yeah. I mean, Caleb had a good year, but yeah, just not deserving.
A good year? Did he pass for 4,000 yards? No. Did his team win anything? Not really.
Yeah, his team had a good year record wise. I guess would be the better way to put it. Well, what does that really mean? Yeah,
it's fine. I mean, I don't know.
Did you want to give those AJ Brown stats quick? And then
Yeah.
I'll
Okay. Sure. So
for
second half of the season, weeks 9 through 17, AJ Brown was only averaging like 13.7 fantasy points per game. He did have a big spike week with a 30-point week. But essentially in those 8 games, because they had a bye week in the second half of the season, in those 8 games, he scored more than 20 fantasy points in only 2 of them. He scored more than 17 fantasy points in only 2 of them, the same 2. He was hitting your flex, like scoring more than 13 fantasy points in about 4 of those 8 games. And one of the things, like his fantasy points per reception was about 2.2, which is okay. It's not bad, actually. It's pretty good. But he was only getting about 6 receptions per game. So that's where that math kind of comes in. It was the touchdowns that were missing. He only had 4 touchdowns in the second half of the season. So I think you have to like take AJ Brown on more of like his talent and his projection for what he could be in this Patriots offense. Because if you're just going to extrapolate off of like what he did last year in the Eagles, it's not really going to work out. Like if he's going to keep rising in ADP, he's not really going to pay off, because to pay off, you're going to want him to get to like, I don't know, at least 15 like plus fantasy points per game, which is exactly where Drake London was last year. Drake London, smaller sample size because of the missing time, but that's kind of the argument. We need this Patriots like team shift to be a big lift for him. Potentially the 6 receptions per game is healthy enough. Anything above that is pretty elite. So I think what it really comes down to for AJ Brown is like you have to be convinced that he's going to score more touchdowns, and you have to be convinced that there's more like reception yardage on the Patriots than the Eagles, given like Drake May's passing ceiling over Jalen Hurts. So it is kind of a stretch. He's definitely, I think you can make a good case for him over Pickens and Nico Collins. That's kind of like very easily, like a very easy adjustment to make. But then getting over Drake London, I think that is kind of a real hurdle. And then also being worthy of like eclipsing some of those running backs who go in the second round, that's a little bit of a stretch because a lot of those guys were averaging like way more fantasy points per game. Like Chase Brown, for instance, Chase Brown in the second half of the season was averaging like 18, 19 fantasy points a game. Same thing with Achane. Like they're just kind of, that's like 50% more production, like fantasy points per game. So, positional differences, wide receiver versus running back. But at the end of the day, if you're spending a second round pick, it needs to be a smash. So there's a path for AJ Brown to get there. I need to investigate exactly like how we make that connection. But I will say that, yeah, his current price, there's got to be some kind of like he's getting steamed up. There's for him to truly pass up on like Drake London where we're taking him. It's got to be like we got to be like assuming he scores a lot more touchdowns. I guess that's the only thing it's really going to raise his like fantasy points per reception that much more, because honestly he's not gonna be able to get that many more receptions per game. And the yardage, even his yardage last season, I'm gonna pull back up, his yardage wasn't terrible. He was doing like 76 yards per game, and that's like the same tier as pretty much everyone that wasn't Puka or JSN, who are both above 100. Drake London was about 74. Nico Collins was about 87. You have guys like George Pickens, who was at 92. So AJ Brown, he's like, even if you project him for more yards, that really doesn't get you there. It's got to be touchdowns. So I think that's where we need to come out, like figure out what is Drake May's passing touchdown ceiling, and then what is the share of his passing touchdowns that AJ Brown could get.
Right. And that makes sense. That does seem like it could be a little bit hard to project with like the, just such a different offense. Like how much does Stephon Diggs turning into Dobbs and AJB change how the offense operates? And the more difficult schedule this year, maybe they're just passing more out of necessity too. But all right. So I think we waited long enough. We'll hop into a BBM. I'll count it down quick. I'm gonna join on my phone, just to make sure I don't get no location errors. So we'll join the BBM in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're in and waiting on 8. So if anyone wants to hop in, we're in the Best Ball Mania.
You're lucky that you got waiting on 8 because you fast rolled the chat there on the countdown. That was the fastest countdown I ever heard.
Did I?
Yeah. You counted down from 10, but you did it in like 5 seconds.
I don't have the cadence down, I guess. I guess if I start counting, just hit enter. But you know, it's +8. So.
Yeah, we got +8. That'll be fine. And also to BBM. I feel like the BBMs they do fill, but they don't like snap fill like the Pomeranians were or like the puppies do kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that never fill is the pit bulls. They take forever to fill.
Yeah. I haven't even done too many pit bulls because
really?
Yeah, I didn't.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I got in I say not too many. I did like 4, so I'm like halfway.
I've done 9.
Yeah.
I only have 1 left, and I'm saving it because it's like 30% full.
Yeah, well, I guess that was kind of the main reason. Like, I'll probably max it, but it just wasn't filling at all. So then I just kind of stopped drafting it.
Isn't the top prize for the pit bull 100,000?
I think so. That sounds right. We can pull it up quick while we're waiting.
$200 to win 100,000, bro. Sign me up.
Yeah, no, what I mean, it's such a good structure too. You know, the normal 2 out of 12, but then 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5.
156 is the most manageable final you can imagine. Like that is to me, anything less than 300 is winnable. Like, and realistic with only 1 or 2 entries. And I know it'd be a stretch to even get 2 entries to the final, but best case scenario, if you were 2 out of 156 entries, you'd be feeling so good. You'd be like, oh shit, I have like top 50 locked down. Unless you hate your teams or they're dead on arrival. But if like what I think of is like about for every 100 to 150 teams you're competing against, you want at least 1 team. So if it was a 300 seat final, you'd want like 2 or 3 teams to feel like really confident. If it's like a 900 person final, there's just no odds you're going to get 8 or 9 teams in. So you're kind of just like hoping for like a 1% outcome, which is really tough. So that's where I start to find some disconnect. I'm not specifically talking about BBM because that's like, again, like, you know, the big tournament, but like the puppies have not been, and even what was it? The Pomeranians in the hounds. I did a few of those, but like I'm nowhere near maxing those because those are just such a lottery ticket. With the 900 person final, I was kind of like, oh, really?
Yeah, I did the same thing because I just kind of like I did them a little bit for fun, just to always started checking in a second, but I did them a little bit for fun, just to like, you know, just have some fun $3 drafts to rip. But yeah, I don't know, it's not very enticing to go and like max it or something when, like you said, I mean, 900 seat final, and then like getting there, it's such a low min cash. You get $10. It's like,
yeah,
you know, you're just not even locked into anything. It's I don't know. Yeah, those didn't feel. Yeah, like even the Hound Dog, that was only a 6 max. I think I did half of them because it was like
I think I did too. Let me see the draft board. Who we drafting against? We got Brew Crew.
Oh yeah, Brew Crew
Brew Crew in the 9, P-Punch in the 11. Let's go. And we're in the 5 spot. How do you? Oh, Chase goes 2.
Oh yeah.
Bijan's gonna go 3, and then Puka goes 4. We're at the 5. Man, I see you're pretty overweight JT, which I like to see. Can I tempt? I mean, let's do the combo. If we take JT at 5, who do we get on the way back in terms of receivers? Are you cool with like AJ Brown or Nico or Pickens as our wide receiver 1? Or do you or do you want to get JSN here and then hope that you can get like Love or, you know, who might be there?
I mean, I kind of lean towards the RB a little, but which one do you prefer?
I kind of lean RB here. Let's go JT.
All right.
Because I do really like getting a wide receiver early, but at this point in the board at pick 20, a lot of the nice round 2 running backs typically dry up. Like you might get lucky and a Chase Brown happens to fall there, or like I don't know. It you kind of have to like be you have to get lucky that a running back you really feel strongly about can make it there. Versus we have JT. I'm projecting him somewhere between 20 fantasy points a game, you know, plus. And so as my base case and kind of my bullish case. So I feel like that's hard to replicate if we miss out on the Derrick Henry or the Chase Brown or like once you get to Jeremiah Love, I feel like that's where I start to worry.
Yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of times there you're kind of faced with like going double receiver or like Bowers or just taking Love. Yeah, like so often at that spot, if you go receiver in the first round, like either take Love or you kind of just have to wait on running back. So yeah, no, I mean that totally makes sense. And like I think like I had a normal amount of JSN, but yeah, like I picked Giant Taylor over him like some of the time, especially now that it seems like all these running backs just rip like straight off to this pick a lot of time. Like sometimes you see some a little bit different, but it seems like so often now it's just like a straight run of running backs. And like you were saying, like, yeah, you're lucky to even get Chase Brown. It looks like in this one though, we get AJ Brown and Bowers going before us. So we get Henry, London, Jeremiah Love, Pickens, Nico.
Ooh, Derrick Henry is so tempting. I kind of think we do just go to Drake London. AJ Brown's gone. I think Drake
Oh,
London.
Drake London. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Derrick Henry had the same bye, which isn't the end of the world, but
It's not the end of the
wasn't that
world.
great.
I do like Drake London as a wide receiver one in a team. We're not going to be able to get Derrick Henry. It's a nice faller for whoever gets him. Like the Puka Derrick Henry team is feeling good. We kind of did them a favor, but
Mhm.
I think just in this room, the whole reason Derrick Henry falls this far is because AJ Brown gets pulled up and Bowers like kind of goes as well, and so that's kind of what happens. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I mean, I don't know. I think London feels pretty good. You were kind of talking about stats earlier, like averaging 15 points per game and just such a dominant target earner in that offense, right? Or like you're hoping he maintains that role as dominant target earner. Might be a new QB situation, kind of new like offensive system, but I don't know.
we've
I
seen
think
like worst case scenario, it's Penix again, and it but like I don't know if that's the worst case scenario, but a scenario is Penix again. We've seen Tua support Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So like I think just the floor is actually higher than it's ever been for the Atlanta offense. Kevin Stefanski, I think, is um a good upgrade for them. And I have some confidence that they will be a competitive team in general. So London to me, he's a very good second round pick, but maybe he's that guy that can take a step forward as well. So we'll just kind of see. But yeah, and then here, how are you? Your Brees Hall looks pretty like at kind of what I would expect.
yeah.
To me, this pick for us, I think we probably go Brees Hall. Like, how do you feel? Are you worried about the Jets?
No, not really. I don't really understand
Do you
like
prefer ETN or Olave at any way?
sometimes Olave, but Olave to Brees, I don't mind
The
either
thing
way.
with Brees, I think Geno Smith is like good for this offense potentially, and I think
Yeah, yeah, I
it's
mean,
tough.
I feel the same way, just in the sense of like last year they didn't even have anyone like competent at throwing the ball at all, and I think Gino is a lower tier starting quarterback, but I still think that's a huge upgrade from like Fields and Tyrod. And just all the offensive weapons they added, right? Like, and O line being healthy, they did have some O line injuries last year, but like
True.
adding Cooper and Sadiq, I think hopefully that helps, give Brees Hall a little bit more space. They can't like key in on him as much. And last year too, Garrett Wilson missed like I think most of the year, right? Or at least a good chunk, like after the first couple weeks, after 3 or 4 weeks. He might have came back near the end, but they were kind of cooked by that point. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just think the offense as a whole could be a lot better. Like I kind of feel that too. And then I do think I didn't really like that Brees Hall moved up just because he signed. I guess that does kind of give you a little more confidence to lock in his workload, but I think he's fine where he goes. Like, him versus any running back after him, I probably lean Brees. I think the Achane thing's like a coin flip kind of.
I've always liked the upside of Brees. I feel like I've been waiting for about like 2 or 3 years to like realize it, where it's like, damn, not again, like he didn't pay off kind of thing. Um, maybe he'll be his year. We know the talent's there. It's really how the offense can function and like how can they score touchdowns, I guess. So I'm also I've come like I think Garrett Wilson's a good value. I think and where did Garrett Wilson go in this one? Did he go at the turn?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Damn. There he
Oh,
goes.
there he goes.
3. We're back on the clock.
Hmm.
Mm,
Uh,
I
who do you
probably
like?
lean towards Mike Evans or McLaurin. I'm fine with Burden.
All right. I mean, no, like you can see, I'm pretty low on Burden. Um, yeah, I like Mike Evans the most. I probably like Mike Evans the most out of that range. Also, I have been considering Jacobs there, kind of taking the risk sometimes. Like this is where I think he starts to kind of interest me. I can see though, like if I mean, with him, I think it's pretty reasonable if he's just kind of off your board. How are you playing Jacobs?
I think with Jacobs, I'm still taking like I've been taking him in the 4th round recently over the weekend. I'm still like in I'm not gonna like fade him on legal reasons. I think I'm used to fading players on legal reasons like in the past, and it never kind of goes in my favor. Like the team they got Jacobs here in the 5th round, like that's a great pick.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like that too. Like on the turn, I think I'm taking them almost every time, or like in the fifth. Um, but yeah, like in the mid fourth, that's where I'm still a little bit kind of hesitant because it does seem like with the whole Wisconsin law thing, it could just be like a little bit more delayed than most other states. I don't know, but I don't know. It's hard to say with any of that stuff because even if there is no legal, the NFL can still suspend them, right? So never really know.
I also think it's okay. We'll make this pick. Okay, given we have JT and Brees and Drake London Evans, I'm very cool with either Waddle or Devontae. I mean, Montgomery's totally fine. I don't obviously love the Texans' outlook. So, like, to me, it's Waddle or Devontae. What do you like?
Um, I would. I'll lean
Yeah.
Devontae.
Yeah.
I'm not as big of a fan of Waddle at cost. I do think receiver there was the right call though either way because like I don't think Montgomery really would fit this build since we're so strong up top. Like he's kind of. I feel like I like him more if I have like maybe as a second RB or even as like my first RB when I really
Yes.
need the consistent touches and just kind of that like touch floor and everything.
I have to kind of refine my because I keep on hearing new things about how much they hated Woody Marks and like Montgomery's upside, but I actually I made a note. I need to refine my projection for David Montgomery, but let me show you what I had for Woody Marks. So I had Montgomery coming in around like 18 touches per game. I think I'm gonna actually move that up to like closer to 20, and that effectively let me go to Montgomery here. Let me find him. For some reason, his name always blends in, and he's further down than I would expect on my list too, which kind of throws me off. About I'm projecting him for about 16 and a half fantasy points per game at 20 touches, which would be in line with like Travis Etienne Jr. or putting Etienne, or we putting him in like kind of in line with
All right. Yeah, we're on the clock right now.
yep,
Um, who do you like here?
Marvin.
Marvin. All right. I like that. I would have let it auto Jaden if he didn't say anything.
I don't mind Jaden here. For some reason, I don't have a ton of Jaden yet.
No, I think I'm quite a bit over. Yeah, 14%. Not.
I think it's just the 6th round opportunity cost of a quarterback is kind of like pushing me off. I've been drafting more in the 6th round. I'll take, of course, Price or Tootin. I'll take Brian Thomas, who's usually there. He goes really early in this one, and actually DJ Moore goes kind of late. I don't mind Carnell Tate, but I really like Marvin Harrison. I think he can get his shit together. Like I think he's a year 3 breakout would not surprise me.
Yeah, I'm kind of coming around. Like I've been pretty out on the Cardinals offense as a whole, just the whole kind of betting against Brissett thing. But I do agree, like betting on the year 3 ultra talented like when he was coming out guy. I mean, I think I can definitely see the path. And I think it's nice that even though we haven't seen it consistently from MHJ, at least we've seen those games where he can put up the true ceiling games. Even when he was a rookie, he had, I think, like 2 really big spike weeks. But, at least we've already seen kind of that ceiling from him and everything. And last year, you can kind of chalk it up to like the kind of dysfunction of the offense, then just his own injuries too. So yeah, it definitely seems like you can see the path for MHJ to make the leap.
Yeah, he was really good in the games that he played. Would you want to go Ramondre or Drake May?
I've probably lean Drake May because I'd like the value, but I'm fine with Ramondre. What do you like?
I think we go Drake May.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I love the value of Drake May. Like I think Drake May, I mean, obviously you can argue with any of these guys, but I think you could argue he's like closer to the top of this tier with like the Caleb, Jaden, Herbert, Hurts. And I don't know. I just have a hard time passing up on that value, especially when you look at like, in the 9th round, 8th round is when we see like so many QBs go off the board,
Yes.
and I think in that range we can get shares of a lot of ambiguous backfields that like we feel like we can get a decent piece of on a good offense still. Like comparable to Ramondre maybe. Where Drake May, I don't know if we can get like an equal or like a similar tier replacement to him.
The only thing that bothers me is, and I think we'll be okay. There's a short list of running backs that I like around pick 92. And if we get squeezed at running back, which I think we could, because between our next pick, there's one drafter who only has 2 running back, or no, sorry, there's 2 drafters now because he picked Sutton. There's 2 drafters who have 2 running backs. If they both take running back and someone else takes one, I think that'll get us through. Like in my mind, I'm like my mental list of the guys I want here.
Yeah, I have one guy that's like a auto click for me, but
auto click. You like him? Yeah. Show me the board or the queue.
That was actually him, Rico.
I know. I was gonna say it's Dowdle. That's how I felt too. Fuck. That was it. It was Dowdle.
Yeah, Dowdle was and Brew Crew gets him, of course.
All right. So our team review, we've got Drake May, we've got Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, Drake London, double Drake, Mike Evans, Devontae Marvin. We're good at receiver. We probably need that running back. We don't want to force it. I don't think there's a stacked QB we take here. I don't want Addison. I kind of think we lean Laporta and go the tight end route if we're not going to get any value at running back.
Okay, I mean, I like that. I like Laporta a lot here.
Let's just think about it. Like, what else is there at like wide receiver if we did get a 5th?
Downs.
I like Downs and Myers, and then running back. I don't think we're going to get there. Is there anyone else we need on this team that stacks?
Purdy. I mean, we could take him, but I don't think we need to.
True, because we already have May. I feel like we push it.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense to push Purdy, maybe take him on the next pick. Because I think we already have 4 receivers. So like to me, like maybe a Myers, but like I don't know if a Downs or Myers makes a ton of sense just because they're kind of more like maybe I'm viewing them wrong, but I view them more as like floor guys, kind of just like high target volume, a little bit lower ADOT, like maybe not huge red zone role. I don't know. That's kind of how I'm thinking of Downs and Jacoby. So it's like I don't know if they would be the move on like a team where we're already so deep at receiver.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I like those picks, but I think we take what the board gives us, and I feel like I don't get enough Laporta. He does give us a nice, like, it's either him or Pitts. I mean, Fannin was in the same. I mean, Kraft goes a little bit earlier, but there's this tier of tight ends that actually like make a difference.
Yeah. Oh no, we had a couple people
Plus, we
stop
filled out our
in.
flex already, so I don't want to pull up a running back we don't love when we can like answer the onesie position in the right range.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
coming back around, are there any running backs you like here at 101? Like, I would think they even pull up Dobbins.
I like Dobbins and Brooks the most. Kenny
Yes.
Gainwell's fine.
Honestly, I do like, if you want to go Purdy for the stack, I like that. Otherwise, it's Dobbins.
Purdy or Dobbins?
What do you
preference?
think?
I think
Let's go Purdy and be done with QB.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Purdy and then that's a good idea. Take Purdy and just be done.
And then if for whatever reason Tua is in the last round and we get a pick, it's a free roll. If we get Brissett, which I don't love, but if he's in the last round and it's like a free roll, if no one else wants him and they just don't pick him, we can always come back to the fact that we could like stack Brissett with Marvin Harrison, or even better, Tua with Drake London, given like our 18th or even maybe 17th round pick. Like, I don't want to be stingy about it, but one of our last two picks that really mean not too much to this team, if we get the free roll at a quarterback that could be starting and stacks with one of our high draft capital pass catchers, like, I'm all in for that. So otherwise, I'm done at 2 QBs, but that's kind of the scenario I would lay out where I'd be tempted to go 3.
Yeah. No, I think that makes total sense. If you like, you're at that point where what are the odds that the 6th running back or 8th receiver or whatever it may be is going to hit your lineup, where Tua, if he's starting, he could very easily fill in a bye week for you, or just even a lower week. He could spike enough for me to hit your lineup, but mainly just fill in those bye weeks or injuries just give you so much more coverage than like a backup RB or 8th, 7th, 8th wide receiver would give you. Saw a couple of people stop in. What's up, Kriath? Briefs issues. He doesn't score TDs. That's fair. That's offense thing. What's up? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Best ball chosen. Look at these studs. Hey, what's up, BB chosen? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Next one. The goated duo. Hey, what's up, Paulino? Thanks for stopping by, bro. I'll look at.
We're back on the clock. This is going super fast, by the way, and it's good that we got Purdy because it was a huge QB run. Like, Shuck and Mayfield both going before pick 110 is kind of different. Dobbins goes. That'd been nice, but who cares, honestly? I like Jonathan Kenneth Gainwell. That being there is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we take Stafford because we took Purdy. I'm okay with Gainwell. Who are the receivers?
Conception,
no,
Higgins, Diggs.
Maybe just Gainwell. We need the running back, don't we?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I'm fine with Gainwell there, and I think with the bad Bucky reports, he feels kind of good right now. Like, he already felt fine at his price, and kind of with the bad Bucky reports, feels even a little bit better, probably, right?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I'm at Gainwell as the RB3 is a little bit sketchy. Dobbins would have been better, but we can get some volume at running back here now that we're not taking any more QBs, and we don't have to like worry about tight end, honestly, either. This range, rounds 11 and like 12, mostly this range, I would say round 11, like, people are going to be taking QBs and tight ends, a lot of tight ends in the next 2 rounds. We can avoid that, and if we get lucky, we might be able to grab another 2 running backs that we like before they dry up.
Yeah. Hopefully, there's I think there's quite a few. At least we'll have an option up here, and then hopefully we get lucky with a faller back. But hopefully we have a couple decent options here. Oh, and Disband Brotherhood, what's up, bro? Thanks for stopping by. Leaving the dot, trademark. What's up, nice and blonde? Thanks for stopping by, bro.
Ayo.
All right, so we're up. Probably not Diggs, right? Probably one of these running backs. or Stafford, but probably not.
I mean, we have the stack with Stafford, but it's pretty expensive. We should just go JCM.
All right.
I kind of believe in his breakaway runs, good offense. Jane Daniels, give me a piece of the Commanders. Kind of the same thing we were like selling each other on last year when we were hyping up the Commanders right before the whole Jaden Daniels injured season, missed season. Kind of. Bill had some nice games. He was a top 10 flex position scorer in week 17 last year. Like he was getting some things done. I know he doesn't catch a lot of passes. I know Rashad White's there. I still think he can be nice. I mean, he had a lot. He had like he had like almost 200 touches as a rookie, and I think he just gets
Yeah.
more involved.
Yeah, and like 800 yards, like pretty
Yeah,
pretty good stats. Yeah, yeah. I mean, JCM's a guy I don't have much of, but like it probably is one of those bets that I should be taking more because just like those backfields where they're both so cheap, especially Commanders, kind of like you're saying the whole thesis, like Commanders backfield, you just want pieces, you want hopefully the main piece, and when they're both so cheap, why not just kind of vary your builds and just get some of each?
right.
Are you picking some like Rashad White and stuff too, or are you kind of like only playing it through JCM?
No, I'll mix in some Rashad White, but honestly, usually I have enough running backs by that point. I think in 75% roughly of my builds, I've got 3 or 4 running backs through like 7 or 8 rounds. And so usually Rashad White, I don't even need a running back in that range. I'm doing like the pivot towards QB and tight end.
Oh, okay, got you.
I can't do Keaton, but I'm open to Omar Cooper. I'm Other than that, damn, it's pretty bad. I would say,
yeah, yeah. I mean Cooper.
yeah, let's just do Cooper. I really don't like this range for picks, and it's nice to throw in a rookie there to get our wide receiver 5. I don't think that's bad at all. I think that's totally fine.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of that time, like I mean, I don't mind Cooper there at all, but like I'll either grab like Keaton or Woody Marks, I guess, but they never really feel all that great. I mean, Omar Cooper, at least you can tell yourself a story of like him being the rookie breakout sensation. And we have Jets pieces, we have Brees, right? So we got some team correlation with it. So not too bad there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still pretty okay with Omar Cooper's price. I feel like 140 for a
That's a
first
great
round
price.
receiver. Yeah, it still feels so cheap.
It's
Like
the
it's
Jets, which is the same concern I had with like our Brees pick is like, how much do I believe in the Jets?
Mhm.
If the Jets do well, I think Cooper could be set up nicely. The competition is AD Mitchell, and I think he also is a little bit undervalued right now. But in this universe, like we're just saying, Cooper is potentially their second target, and then Kenyon Sadiq too. So there is some competition. So it's kind of a thin bet. I would say either Hunter Henry here makes a lot of sense to me. Are there any
Yeah.
wide receivers you like?
I mean, Debo's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a ton, but
Let's let it hit on Hunter Henry. And then because we took Laporta, right? Like we're in a good spot there. We get the stack, which is kind of nice. I don't know for Drake May, what kind of late wide receiver pick we'd want to even do anymore. I'm not even sure like how that plays out. Obviously, Dobbs is gone. At this point, we'd be thinking about like some of the crazier picks that are less
well,
interesting, like Mac Hollins or Boutte, who might be getting traded. So it's kind of, to me, at least getting Henry there makes me feel good that we have like a skinny stack with May that I think makes sense.
yeah, I feel like if we wanted to take a bet, just with the Butte trade rumors, I almost feel like it'd be Kyle Williams. Just
That's what
like
scares me a lot, though, is I've almost all but lost faith in Kyle Williams because I was so sold on him last year by the Kyle Williams touts to only see like how like he didn't see the field and Matt Collins is playing over him and things like makes me just lose faith a lot.
yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I, yeah. I mean, there's not much reason to have faith in Kyle Williams. I think he had like one bomb catch 1 week last year. I think that was his meaningful contributions. Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking maybe like the young guy, but yeah, it is tough when he didn't really show much. He had a little bit of draft capital though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that doesn't get you too many points.
Dribbling is interesting. Obviously, like you said, Debo, I think makes sense. I don't hate the Algier pick just at ADP and getting another running back, but like that team could suck and the running back room is crowded. Let's just let it hit on Debo if you want, or
Oh,
Stribling, either way. Debo or like whatever you
all right.
think.
You mentioned Stribling. I don't hardly have any. I have like bags and bags of Debo, so I'll be a
And if
little
we're
bit
gonna be
different. And
taking
I'm a stack
Stribling, take him on
build.
a Purdy team, right? And then
Right.
I think it's worth something. I think it's worth something. And we're at this point in the draft. It sucks that Algier goes. I don't think he'd necessarily come back around to the 173. I took Algier in a draft earlier today as my running back 5, and I immediately kind of regretted it because I was like, okay, what's the run out here? They've got Jeremiah Love. James Conner's still there until further notice. They've got Trey Benson still there. Trey Benson's 23 years old. Like Algier's not the youngest QB on his or running back on his team. He's not even the best running back on his team. Best case scenario, he's RB2. Worst case scenario, he's RB3. He like, what is the split going to be for touches if Benson's healthy at some point? It's really confusing. Assuming even Connor moves, it's not even that clear.
Yeah, yeah, and I think if Connor doesn't move, that really scares me about like even if they do decide to split up that goal line role, like if Connor even takes a little bit of that RB2 workload, then I mean it just makes them both pretty useless unless there's an injury to Jeremiah Love. But yeah, no, I mean you make a good point too with Benson. That's something I don't really think about a lot, but like once he's back, he might get some work. All right, what are you thinking here? Sampson would be fine. Oh, Tucker. I mean, do you like Tucker?
I'm cool. I'm cool with Samson actually. I don't mind either one. Either one, honestly.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm cool with Tucker too. The bull case for Tucker's kind of fun. We have Kenneth Gainwell. It's like we're being anti Bucky on this one. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
mind it.
you're right. Yeah, that was a bad call by me.
No, I
I
think it's fine because I mean,
I
Sean
guess
Tucker
yeah.
had Sean Tucker had 8 rushing touchdowns for them last year. Bijan Robinson had 7 rushing touchdowns for the Falcons last year. Like touchdowns matter. They come in, if as long as you can get a touchdown in a game, like you're gonna hit a flex most of the time. I think there potentially is a role still for Tucker. Tucker, even with Bucky being healthy, the question is just like, what does the workload become? Do they take some of the workload off of Bucky, or when he is healthy, do they like get him back up to like 20 touches a game? Because then it's going to be pretty thin for Tucker. He's more of a contingent play. But at this point in the draft, it doesn't really matter. I think our goal is probably getting 6 running backs anyways, because I don't know, like what other, we were probably thinking 6 QBs. I know Gino is still there, which could be something. Tua is still there, which could be something for this team. We have the Brees Hall and Omar Cooper stack with Gino, so I don't hate that pick. And then I don't hate the fact that we could just end up going Tua with Drake London.
Yeah, so we could go either of them. I mean, I guess like if we want Gino, we'd probably have to take him here. If we want Tua, we can just wait. Obviously, I think.
Yeah, and it really comes down to the running backs left because I don't know that there's a running back here that I have to have. If I just look at the pure running back list, none that are really coming to mind where it's like they're differentiating themselves in this group that I would want.
Yeah.
So I probably, and then if a wide receiver, the same thing. A lot of these guys go undrafted. I feel pretty confident we probably should go Geno Smith because we have the double stack and
Yeah.
and just kind of hope that he holds down the job and can fill in for us. That gives us a third QB. It also like we don't necessarily have to go 3 tight ends. We can, I was kind of leaning to QB the whole time, but then Gino with the double stack with Omar Cooper, the bet we made there, and having Brees Hall, it feels fine getting a late QB like this. Like it feels like it would pay off. Do you think you want to go one more tight end, and like who are your targets?
I would probably. I mean, I'm fine with 2 with this build. Usually, if I'm going for a late one, I mean, Greg Dulcich is getting all the good coach speak right now. I think
Right.
Pat Freiermuth always feels pretty comfortable. Obviously, they brought in, Big Bob Tunyon today, but pride is blocking a little. He might take a couple touchdowns away, though, here and there. But I don't know, I've been doing a lot of Dulcich, some Freiermuth. I think Njoku's okay. Jasicki's a little interesting. But I'm kind of more on Dulcich and Freiermuth. How about you? Anyone in particular you like at the kind of later tight end?
I feel like Dulcich, Freiermuth, Gesicki. Who are the wide receivers here? Is there anyone that we need to stack with?
I mean,
I
or who do you want?
Let's go with Dulcich.
All right. Oh yeah, I need to get 2 out of the queue anyway.
No, it's fine.
I guess I had limits. It wouldn't have picked him. We would have got
Dulcich is totally fine there. The only thing about AD Mitchell is like we made this bet on Omar Cooper, so then I start to question if like he and
yeah, it's more like an anti Garrett Wilson bet, which doesn't I mean, we know who Garrett Wilson is. He's kind of established.
Right. I expect Garrett Wilson to get like 150 targets. AD can do it though with like efficiency and low volume, which is something.
Yeah.
I just it's like
so receivers the play for sure, right?
I don't know. Scroll down to our receivers.
So
do we have any terrible bye week overlaps? It's really just week 11 for the 2. Otherwise, it's clean. Week 8 with a double stack. And our running backs, look at the running backs real quick. Do we have any terrible bye weeks? We have 2. So in week 13, we have Kenneth Gainwell, JCM, and Sean Tucker. I feel like we could throw in a running back here. And we need a running back, though, that is like standalone value. To me, it's like, fuck. I honestly, I don't like any of those guys at the top. I kind of prefer James Conner or Vidal. And then do we believe the hype on Malik Davis having a role at all? I don't know. Lloyd is scary because he's been a 0 forever, but I probably honestly have the most faith in James Conner. And then after that,
okay.
And no one ever drafts him. Like he's going to be available. I think it's just James Conner. I think people just have like totally gone to 0 on him, and it's almost for no good reason. Obviously, he was injured last season, but before that, he was totally draftable, a 5th round running back. Like I don't think he's done. I don't think he's dead. I think he does have standalone value, not just contingent value, even with Jeremiah Love there. And if he gets moved, it's probably even better for him. So I think that kind of helps us a little bit with maybe some floor if Sean Tucker is not doing a whole lot most weeks. And yeah, honestly, we're banking on JT and Brees smashing, and then a couple of spike weeks from a guy like Gainwell or Bill. Sean Tucker is a contingent play with the ability for some spike weeks. And yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I think the running back room, it feels it feels pretty like good with the double anchor, right? I mean, it's just the 1 week we're going to be hurting, but I don't know. I think we're fine. Like kind of like you were saying, kind of we layered it. Like I think we're fine. Like the double anchor does a lot. I mean, if those guys are healthy all year, we hopefully we have our RB1 and 2 just locked in every single week for other than week 13. So I'll read off the team real quick, and then we'd check out PP Punch and P Punch and Brew Crew. So we did 3663. We did Drake May, Brock Purdy, Geno Smith, Jonathan Taylor, Brees Hall, Kenneth Gainwell, Ja'Cory Krusky-Merritt, Sean Tucker, James Conner, Drake London, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Marvin Harrison, Omar Cooper, John Stribling, Sam Laporta, Hunter Henry, Greg Dulcich. Um, I mean, I think the team overall is, pretty balanced. Obviously, we maybe spent a little bit heavy at QB, like taking the third, but we were talking about that. We had that good value with the double. Um, and in tight end, we kind of secured it with Dulcich. He's kind of the hottest name right now. Does Dulcich maybe have a better chance to flex than any of these other round 17 guys we could have picked at receiver, running back? But I think overall we kind of balanced it. Went really RB heavy early and just did kind of a balanced build. I think it feels pretty solid. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah, QB is very strong. I think we did go heavy there, but we get Drake May, who we both like, and we get Brock Purdy. We ended up double stacking him, which is pretty nice. The Mike Evans connection, like that's a big bet on this team, especially since he's our wide receiver too. So, and I think that's a stronger way to play it than going through Drake London stack. Devontae Adams, if we would have pushed QB, maybe we take Stafford there. So like that's a consideration. I think this wide receiver room is very strong, kind of exactly what you need. And even though we only have, we have six, right? It's 3, 6, 6, 3.
Yeah.
I still think our top four is like good enough to get it done on them alone. So then the Omar Cooper and Stribling are just kind of like what if scenarios on if these guys can have some nice weeks. I think most weeks we're going to be filling our flex with hopefully Marvin Harrison. And then I do think the way we cobbled together like the back end of our running backs is okay. It's not ideal. I think we're a little weak at depth on running back, especially. I mean, what we honestly are asking for here, I don't think Kenneth Gainwell has that true path to like to being the RB1. We're asking for that to be Bill. So I'm kind of glad we took him because I think he is of the running backs that aren't Brees and Jonathan Taylor, the only one that could like earn a role where they're getting 15 plus touches a week consistently. So I already said QB is good. Running back, you've got JT, so it can't be bad. We have Brees as our RB2. We just need one of these guys, and it's probably Bill to have a more consistent role. Wide receiver solid, and then the tight end. I mean, we have Hunter Henry stacked up. We have Laporta, which is I think like some people would argue a borderline elite tight end. He was injured last year. We had a good price on him. The Greg Dulcich is just kind of a throw in. If anything, maybe I think we rethink like already at the point we took Greg Dulcich, there wasn't really any running backs we wanted. So I don't think that was kind of the arbitrage that would like do us any like favors. I'm trying to think of like where we could have added value potentially. And it's probably just if you scroll up a little bit, it's probably getting one running back right before we did for like Kenneth Gainwell. So when we took Kenneth Gainwell as our RB3, we were kind of already like seeding a lot of points. Dobbins would have been nice. We were one pick away. Jonathan Brooks would have been at least a little bit more exciting, even though Gainwell had the season last year that if Jonathan Brooks had this year, everyone would freak out and be so excited for. So maybe it's more in name and than anything. But I guess when we took Purdy, there was not a single running back there that we would have preferred. I think it's kind of we took what the board gave to us. And even when we took Laporta the round before that, it's not like you and I would have preferred Corm or Monangai as our RB3 over Gainwell. It's like, to me, it's what's the difference?
Yeah, well, we really did kind of get eaten up at running back, and that like those tiers we were just short of a. I mean, Dowdle won a decent amount before.
Dowdle would have been sick.
Just short on Dobbins.
Dowdle or Dobbins was the play. It didn't pan out. So like, right. I think we just took what the board gave us instead of forcing the RB3, and that's what made us feel like we were behind. But at the end of the day, I think it can still work out, obviously.
And this was probably the mistake. I kind of pushed for May over Stevenson, and then seeing Stafford come back to 125. If we would want Stevenson there, I think that would have probably been the bigger key.
Sure. It's hard to know in the moment. Scroll back up to the very top. Zero was pointing out at the beginning of the draft. He liked the swap. Yeah, I didn't even realize that until just now.
I saw Jeff put it like number 2 pick hates money.
Bro, that's crazy. They forced the Bengal stack only to take Lamar Jackson in the 4th round. It's insane.
I love it.
If you go back to our pick 2 and 3, so we went Drake London and Hall. Zero is saying he would have preferred Henry and Olave. And I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Probably from a straight projection standpoint, the Henry Olave projects for more points than the London Hall, like straight up. It probably does. It also comes down to, in my opinion, we wanted to make sure we got a top receiver, and I think the London matchups for the fantasy playoffs is also pretty nice. And then Brees Hall, he typically does become like the best option at running back in the third round. So I'm trying to warm up to it because every year it's just like, what if Brees Hall like is the guy this year? Like I think he has the potential and the talent. It's just the Jets. And like you said, their O-line was injured last year, getting better. So maybe it lines up this year. Maybe they're good enough with Gino.
Um, yeah, no, and I mean, I can definitely see the argument for that either way. I like Olave where he goes. And I do pick a little bit less London, but I mean, also like at the end of the day, you're building a portfolio too, right? So you want to diversify a little, and eh, I don't know, yeah, like there are outs where it's better and like better with this duo versus the other, but like Henry also has some downside risks. There's some like negative association with the Ravens just as far as like changing their whole scheme and everything. Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, I like Henry there. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think there's worlds where each work out. But I get the 2v2 why you'd maybe lean the Henry Olave. Um, I want to say what's up. Who aims? Say what's up. What's up, fam? Steve O'Speak, how's it going? It's going pretty good. How about you, Steve? I think that's about it.
I'm
Oh,
excited
Al
to
Big.
eventually later. I'm going to go back and figure out what happened between Nez and PPR in the Jeopardy. That'll be exciting to catch that.
Yeah, no, I saw the first part. I'm gonna go back and see who won that right after this. Um, uh, so let's check out. We can check out quick some of the other teams in the room, and then maybe we'll hop in another.
Bro, you know it's so funny?
What's up?
You,
What's that?
you know Nathaniel Wright from So You Think You Can Doubt?
Yeah, Emo's partner, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
His mom just followed me on Twitter, so I followed her back.
Oh yeah.
It's so fun. I was checking my
She
notifications just because we're live, and so I was curious to see, but it's so funny.
they were saying she's deep in the streets.
Yeah,
Yeah, deep
yeah.
in the
No,
basketball
she had a
streets.
great appearance on the After Dark. I think you saw it.
Oh yeah. No, I saw all that. Yeah. I've been following along. You know, I saw this week I saw the bad news, but I don't know. I don't know. I've been enjoying the show. I saw some people they're not enjoying the reality aspect as much, but I've been enjoying it pretty much. I think it's entertaining. Pete's doing a good job with the twists and the turns too.
Yeah, it's all fun.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about your experience on there?
I was just happy to be included. I had fun doing it. It was fun, while it lasted, kind of thing. I think I was a little bit naive. I didn't realize that it was first and foremost a reality show, an entertainment show. I didn't
Mhm.
realize like how little opportunity there would be to like lean into that. And so I took it from more the perspective of being like ball knowledge, how sharp you are as a drafter, how much you can like talk ball or like make a take or like tout a player or like give good advice. But at the end of the day, like that is probably like 1% of the value, and like 99% of the value is like strictly entertainment.
Yeah. It is. It does seem like it can be a little confusing for those guys. Like, I mean, as a viewer, it's entertaining, but like, it was weird. Like some of the bit guys this past week, they were really kind of not liking the bits, and they wanted a lot more ball talk. But then, kind of before that, it was like, oh, the bits are good, less ball talk. Like,
I
kind of a
will
weird
say
like mixture.
in the moment, it's extremely hard to figure out like what the ask is and like what the goal is,
Mhm.
because when you see the finished product, it's very obvious like what the goal was, because you see the instant reaction of, oh, here's someone's submission, and like this is what we like, and like this is where it was good. But when you're like in the moment, like trying to satisfy the ask or like produce that for like the challenge, it's very ambiguous and very hard to figure out like what angle to take. And so I think that's where I'm coming from, is just saying like if you lean into like it's entertainment first and foremost, you're going to get it right more often than not. But like you said, the leaning into the bit stuff was a little bit overplayed. It's a fine balance because yeah, it's like, but I think at the same time, bits being overplayed, but like still the entertainment value of sensationalizing and like being in drawing engagement is still like the goal. Whereas like the ball knowledge, we haven't really quantified that yet. So it's not like there's been a challenge where it's like, you know, it I'll just say it's not very it's very entertainment driven. It's not very like analytical numbers driven, which I think is funny because everyone's like, one of the favorites, of course, is Cups, and he's like more an analytical minded guy, which is very clear. And people are like, oh yeah, Cups is a favorite because he's so analytically driven. But like there hasn't been a single challenge to flex that like muscle yet.
Yeah, no, I feel like all the analytics guys have been at kind of a not like a little bit of a disadvantage in a way because like yeah, the challenges like I guess the one where they had to give the bull case bear case, which got you the next round.
Yeah.
That one's pretty
That
fair
was the
for
closest
everyone.
to being like analytical or like ball knowledge.
Yeah.
But even then, the guys that advanced were the guys who were more entertaining. Um, and some of the responses were just like, yeah, don't draft this player. He fucking sucks. And like, it's like, oh, he said he sucks. That's funny. And they move on. But then
Yeah.
like a solid ball take was like not as, I don't know. I'm biased, obviously, because that's the challenge that where I didn't move on. But also I went to the fan vote, which I was like, fuck. As soon as you go to the fan vote, you're just like, that's over. Because it's pretty tough. And also a fan vote for 2 out of 6. I mean, that's a tough advance rate off the bat. I know that from
Yeah.
from the PGA streets. You're asking for a 1 out of 6 or a 2 out of 6 advance. Odds are not good. So, but that's it. You got to bring the heat. That's the goal. Like, you know, obviously it's the first season of the show, which is pretty fun. I'm just happy to be included, happy to do a little bit of it, and it was just fun. You know, interacting with some of the new guys in the space, which I think is cool. But the goal, I would say, is to bring the heat, and that's like entertainment first and foremost. And I think people, like, if this is a thing for season 2 for next year, they'll kind of look back on the whole season and they'll only see like what worked. And so like they're going to skew themselves like so much more towards what worked versus the guys who were in this original season are just kind of like they're freestyling every time they get a chance to like be on the mic. Like they don't know what is gonna like what like you really don't know what's to expect or like what you're being asked to do. It's only when it's like the final edit comes out. Like every time Pete was posting videos and we're seeing it revealed for the first time, you're also seeing like what everyone else did for the first time. And it's like, oh shit, that was how everyone else like approached this. Like it's very revealing in the moment. So it's kind of it's super fun in that way. And it's a super fun concept. So I'm excited about it. I think it's just funny also because it's one more thing to get the whole like fantasy and the best ball community going and like talking about something. Because I remember like back to like this point last year, we're talking about like the Sims and like the whatever we call them, like the tools versus like people who don't use the tools. Like that was like the heavy debate in June last year, right?
Yeah. I mean, hey, we got a little, you know, PBR tried battling, but you know,
Yeah.
he tried battling the sidekick this year.
What do we
But
call them? Was it like RTAs or what do we call them as like
RTAs, the machines. I mean,
exactly.
I feel like the machines was like a common phrase. But yeah, RTAs. I think that's like the proper name. All right. Let's take a look at P Punch and Brew Crew.
For
And then
sure.
we'll probably hop in another. P Punch went 2583. So you went Josh Allen, Bo Nix, James Cook, Saquon, Jadarian Price, Jordan Mason, Nick Singleton, Ted McMillan, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, Jaden Reed, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen Naylor, Ted Hurst, Dontavian Wicks, Dallas Goddard, Kenyon Sadiq, Terrence Ferguson. What do you think about this team, Candyman?
Josh Allen with Cooks is pretty fun, and with Cook is pretty fun, and then Cook Barkley is nice. Jarian Price is a nice tag on that, and then the receivers. T Mac being wide receiver 1 is a little frightening, but we just don't know like what his real ceiling is. And I think DJ Moore is more to me is like a wide receiver 3 than 2, but Godwin's a good one, Reed's a good one. I think there's good depth there. And then tight end, doesn't actually matter. So like I think you're totally good. People are probably still undervaluing Dallas Goddard because he should be rising on the AJ Brown news. So I think this room works pretty nicely. With the upside for a year 2 breakout like Terrence Ferguson. Kenyon Sadiq could be the Jets' second target. Like we just don't know. But I also think Dallas Goddard like potentially in like a top 5 tight end conversation going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think I pretty much agree. Like the tight end room, Goddard should be moving up. And yeah, like I think I really like your top 5 receivers. Like I think that's still pretty solid. Even though you didn't really get like a super elite guy, you have like a really like solid top 5 still.
The
Godwin
Reed makes it nice, especially since like at least DJ Moore is stacked. So like that also kind of is like redeeming of it. But I think the running back room is really solid.
Yeah, those top 3 are really strong. And then to get Mason as a 4 feels really good too. Just kind of taking a shot with Singleton. But yeah, those top 4 all feel good.
Yeah, it's a fun team.
Nick's Allen strong too. Yeah, good team. Now let's look at Brew Crew. 3672, Caleb Goff, Fernando Mendoza, Kenneth Walker, Quinshon Judkins, Tony Pollard, Rico, Chris Rodriguez, Dylan Sampson, Amon-Ra, Rashi Rice, Romeo Dobbs, Trey Tucker, Jeremy Bernard, Pat Bryant, Christian Kirk, Colson Loveland, Chuo Okonkwo. So I think on this one, tight end room's fine since you got an elite. Maybe you're going a little bit thinner with Chig, but I think it's good enough with an elite. That gives you a lot more freedom. Receiver, I think you went pretty thin. You kind of did like a double hero receiver build. Dobbs hopefully eats up some targets, but that's going to be pretty thin, relying on Dobbs and Tucker as your 3 every week probably, and then kind of 3 even a little bit later tier guys.
Wait, show me the running backs.
Running backs are strong. He has Walker, Quinshon, Pollard, Rico.
I mean, too strong. Yeah. I'm still. I think Ken Walker. I mean, I'm going to be in the boat alone, but I think Ken Walker is more of an RB2 than RB1 to me, which is scaring me that he now goes in the 2nd round and borderline 1st round in some drafts. So like, but I'm a little biased. I do think Pollard and Dowdle are nice as 3-4, but not like a sexy 3-4 that like I'm super excited about. I think it's just like good enough. It's better than what we did. And then who are the QBs? Because that's where I was trying to figure out the stacks there. Besides, so obviously Goff, but then Caleb and Mendoza. Mendoza is more of just a value pick, and then Caleb
Caleb was with Loveland.
Loveland is nice. I do like that.
Mendoza with Tucker.
Yeah, it's not bad. No, it's not bad. I mean, it connects. And I think even a naked Mendoza at like the range that he goes in is probably fine. I guess I'm confused on this team, and I figured it out. It's because. And I feel the same way about my own teams. When I take a Colston Loveland, when I take like an elite tight end, it always feels like both the running back and the wide receiver is missing something because the opportunity cost to go Colston Loveland is so high. Because I'm looking like, where's the wide receiver 3? I don't see him on this team. But then when you show me the running backs, there's 4 good running backs, but it's not 4 good running backs where I'm like, oh, this is good enough to be hyper fragile. Like even then you go Chris Rogers and Dylan Sampson. And so you're kind of still attacking it with volume. So it's not like the draft capital's there. So on this team, it's just the same problem that I run into where it's like, damn, I drafted Colston Loveland and now I don't love how the team turned out. But I'm being hypercritical. Like I'm just saying, like I'm also trying to figure out how to do that. And if you do truly get a Rashi Rice season that you'd want, then you're going to be good with Amon-Ra and Rashi, and it doesn't even matter who your other receivers are.
Yeah, no, that's true. They can very easily fill that spot every single week all year. And like they're 2 super high target volume guys, super consistent. Like,
and I will say the likelihood of filling your flex with a running back is super high because you have like guys like C-Rod and Dylan Sampson after Dowdle and Pollard. So if you're only aiming to fill one more wide receiver spot after Monra and Rice, then it totally makes sense. And then with tight end, you're just saying it's Colston Loveland every week. So actually, like I can see that because like you actually do fill the flex pretty nicely from running back here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think the real I think it's pretty obvious where Brett messed up though. He should have passed on Rico and gave him to us. And then he could have just grabbed a receiver right there.
That's
And then
why I hate
everyone was
this team.
happy.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
It's the Dowdle that we wanted.
Yeah. But no, I mean I pretty much agree. The elite tight end does make it like kind of hard. I do wish maybe like one of these running backs could have been a receiver or something, or at least something to make it a little bit more robust at receiver. Um, but with the elite tight end, that kind of changes how the overall build structure goes. I think he built out of it pretty good though overall. Maybe just ended up a little bit thinner at receiver.
Yeah, and you're making the big bet on Caleb and Colston Loveland. So like if that's what you need, then it's gonna pay off. Otherwise, they're both expensive. So it's a super high risk reward pick. But cover of Madden, maybe you know what they say? It's always good to be on the cover of Madden, right? There's like it's like a big
Yeah.
boost for players. They're always like, oh, if you're on the cover of Madden, you always smash the next season, right? There's no curse or anything that people worry about for any
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, no, it's probably just going to give Caleb the confidence to be the star that he was always destined to be. The Iceman, the real Iceman. It's not Drake, it's Caleb.
Hey, no Drake slander in this chat.
Oh,
Chat,
no.
let me know. Are you guys team Drake or are you guys team Kendrick? It's been a long time. I think we're all past that. But Hartman and I were listening to some Iceman in the studio before the stream.
Yeah.
I'm team Drake, but I'm also team Unk. So let me know.
Oh, no. What's up, Purple Yosh, the reigning, defending Eliminator champion stopping by? What's up, bro? Sam's a K dot. I personally, my personal opinion, I think Kendrick won the beef with that last song, but really, like if you really were into the beef, Drake's diss tracks were better. The last one, it was just such a big hitter, but like I don't know, like Family Matters, that was the best diss track of the whole beef.
So I'll put it this way in chat. You guys enter this too, but first to Hartman. You either get to listen, and not only, but you here. I'll phrase it this way: you can never listen to Kendrick again. You'll never hear it, any of his songs, or you can never listen to any Drake songs again. Which artist are you axing? You can still listen to all other music, but one of them, their music just like disappears. Would you keep Drake's music or would you keep Kendrick's music? Throw it to Hartman.
All right. Well, I'm a J. Cole fan, first of all, but no, I'd probably it's probably Drake's music I would ask. Maybe. I don't know. It's tough because Drake has like the big bangers, but I don't know, like some of Kendrick's like deeper catalog is I'm a little bit more of a lyrical miracle guy at heart. Like I said, J. Cole's my guy, so I'd maybe lean Kendrick actually. Drake got the bangers. Drake got the real bangers.
It's tough. I really like the Take Care album. Like that's one I can just put on the whole album and listen to it through. But there's some Kendrick bangers too, like Money Trees and like I probably would axe Kendrick because I just feel myself like Kendrick to me is very like era, like, oh, that point in my life, I was listening to a lot of Kendrick, but I'm not like, I don't know, my current playlists, I'm not like replaying old Kendrick songs like as often, but like if an old Drake song comes on for me, it's like, I don't know, it kind of brings me right back. So maybe I'm just a little bit more unk on that because I remember like the Take Care album from Drake was like huge for me. And then every album after that was just like a lot of anticipation. And he like has never failed to deliver. Like every single album has had like top of the chart hits. Like he's pretty undeniable. But I like them both. When they were feuding, I was like, no, like it's kind of like I didn't want to pick sides, but I think I just have to go with my gut there. I would lean keeping Drake. I don't care that people think that he's like kind of like weird or cringe or whatever. Like
Corny.
I think I keep the personalities out of it.
Yeah. No, I mean I agree with that. Like I don't really care about their image. Like, I mean, if you don't like them as a person, maybe it influences the music. But like, yeah, to me, it's not really about the image. It's just like what songs are they putting out. And yeah, I don't know. It's like Drake has the higher highs, like the bigger bangers. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's more Kendrick songs that I can think of that I actually like go back to. Like there's quite a few songs on To Pimp a Butterfly that have like pretty good replay. Like I don't know, like money, like you said, money trees, like swimming pools, King Kunta, like that one. But like I don't know, probably Kendrick.
Yeah, swimming pools was pretty good. That was like for me peak Kendrick. Money trees and swimming pools was like where I was. I don't know if you call that early Kendrick, but for me it was like my earlier exposure to Kendrick, where I was just like, this goes hard. Like if someone puts that on like the aux court, I'd be like, oh hell yeah, like bangers.
Or that control verse went crazy on there. But yeah, no, I mean it seems like the chat is pretty on the Kendrick side. J. Cole for the win, real ball knower right there. That's the truth.
We all love J. Cole. J. Cole's solid, very solid.
Yeah.
I just wish he would like put out more like music.
Yeah, no, me too. I mean, sounds like that was the last album. I think that was the whole talk. The last album was the last album.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see. But yeah, that's the one nice thing with Drake too. Drake just drops one like once a year, like an album almost every year. You're always getting new Drake if you're a fan.
Green Bean says Drake just feels like what junior high schools girls listen to. I guess that's just that's what I like too as well. I guess similar. Drake is smearing off high schoolers. See, everyone thinks Drake is like corny and like lame and like pop, but like that is true. Like he's not like Drake. Kendrick's a rapper. Drake is R&B. Like Drake is not a rapper. Drake sings. Like he's like a singer. Like it's pop. It's R&B. It's more like popular music. Kendrick is like, it's lyrical. It's more rap. So like they're very different to me in their genre and their style, even though like they get compared. Like I don't think of Drake as being like my favorite rapper. I think of him as like more R&B, like more pop, like than anything. But like I still like that. I'm pretty open to all genres.
Yeah. What is it? Kendrick's a rapper. Drake's a pop star.
Exactly. No, and I think that's hilarious. And people are like, oh well, pop stars are corny and weird and rappers are cool. It's like there's like a little like lean into like wanting to be a Kendrick fan.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with being a pop star. I think it's
Yeah, and Drake, I don't know, just when you're like the biggest guy, I think you're always just gonna have like detractors when it's like their guy's not as big as like he's the biggest guy, so it's that's always just gonna get you negative anyway. But all right, we settled the Drake versus Kendrick.
You know what else though? Like, because it takes me back because this is like my era as well. Like when Drake came out with "Know Yourself" on like, if you're reading this, it's too late. That one is one that I still hear if it comes on like my shuffle. I'm just like, holy shit! Like that song goes so hard. Like that's a song where like I'll be in the gym and that one comes on and I can like do an extra set. Like it like pumps me up. Like that one. If I don't even care if you hate Drake, but like if like that song and many others, like I think you can make an argument that yeah, the compendium, like the anthology of Drake's work, if you saw it, you'd be like, oh shit, another banger, another one, another one, another one, another one. DJ Khaled, another one. Like he just has too many big hits, and everyone can find at least one or two of his hits where they're just like, oh fuck, I actually love this song.
Yeah, no, I will admit that like I used to be maybe a little bit more of a Drake hater for listening to more, but it's like yeah, you hear some of the big ones and you're like, it's, you know, it's not bad. It's
Jumpman. Like there's just so many, and there's different eras because like a lot of it was when I was in college or like grad school or just like being a young adult. But I have so many memories of being in like a house party or a pregame or like in someone's car with an aux cord, and you throw on like the most current like latest like Drake song, and everyone's just like, it goes like it's just like exciting, like it's just like like you know, it gets the people going.
Yeah. Well, that is the thing with Drake. Like you can play Drake any environment, any group of people, and it's like you're pretty much good, you know. Like he's like universally like even though there's some, you know, he's the pop star guy. It's like, well, that's like easy listening for everyone type stuff. So
I know that's why it kind of upset me when the Drake versus Kendrick beef was so public. Then everyone was like, "Oh, it's cool to be on Team Kendrick." I was like, I like them both, so like whatever. But it's hard to come back from that. So everyone is just like, "Oh, Drake, you like Drake? Gross! Like that's dumb. That's lame." It's like I don't know. I'm not afraid to be repping and be proud of like the things that I like. So I'm not going to let other people's opinions on what's cool make me stop listening to Drake.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Also, I was like the biggest Lil Wayne fan when I was too young to be listening to Lil Wayne, and he is like kind of like the unk to Drake, like brought Drake on, like got Drake on the scene. Like he's one of the guys that like helped develop like Drake, and they used to collab on a lot of their early stuff. So I naturally just went from like being a huge Lil Wayne fan, like, and he's one of my favorite rappers, like hands down. And then being introduced to Drake, like through him, was like, oh, if Lil Wayne likes this guy, if Lil Wayne vouches for him, like, I'm in. And then Drake ends up being even bigger than Lil Wayne.
Yeah, it is crazy how that goes. I mean, maybe that's why Lil Wayne knew early on, like, better start, you know, better get this guy on the records. Yeah. Him with the Young Money. All right. So I think we solved hip hop. So
we did it. It could only be Candyman and Hartman that solve hip hop. Who else could do it?
Yeah, two white guys on a podcast. What it took. but with that being said, so we're gonna hop into another Best Ball Mania. So I'm gonna count it down. I'm gonna join on the phone again. Make sure I don't get location cut.
Yeah, count it down. Catch up with the chat. I'm gonna go refresh my water.
All right, cool.
Be back in 2 seconds.
All right. I'll join first, and then we'll catch up a little bit. So I'm gonna join in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're in. Starting soon. We got the right away. So active. All right, we got the 101. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. You know, sorry, I'm not keeping up with chat as good tonight. You know, with the guests, I try to catch up where I can, but I'm not gonna be able to catch them all. I think we caught everyone coming in the chat and stuff at least, and we found out everyone in the chat prefers Kendrick over Drake pretty much. You know, one J. Cole truther, I appreciate that. What are you guys talking about? You guys are talking about overweight Warren already. Usually gone by 61. Okay, so Tyler Warren. Oh yeah, Brett loves him some Tyler Warren. And you know, Tyler Warren's a good pick. Fair enough. Used to do. So we're up. I recently listened to a podcast that was telling me Jahmyr Gibbs is the real 101. So if Candyman's not back in time, we'll take Gibbs there. But yeah, no, I was listening to a podcast recently. They were telling me Jahmyr Gibbs, he's the real 101. So wait, let me see. All right, yeah. So we'll take Gibbs there.
Speed, man.
There we go. We got
Metallica, let's go.
yeah. It had hit the Metallica for Gibbs. The classic.
I mean, you already knew I want to give it the 101. You know me. I love my Bijan. I love Bijan Robinson, but Gibbs is hard to pass up. I can even make a case for Jamar Chase at the 101. Like,
yeah,
there's 3 good options this year, and I honestly don't hate Puka Nacua, and I honestly don't hate Jonathan Taylor. Like, there's the first 5 picks to me are really solid. Now, the drafter in the 6th spot, Jay Fish, taking Amon-Ra, I don't think that's necessarily wrong. I think JSN is in the same tier with Amon-Ra and Jefferson and even CeeDee Lamb, but he like consistently goes at the front of that tier. It's a little bit, you kind of have to like take what the board gives you and just like draft at ADP because you don't want to like fade any first round player kind of thing. But I think the range of outcomes for JSN, Amon-Ra, Jefferson, and Lamb are much more similar than kind of like the static ADP is telling us. And I used to think McCaffrey was the better pick than JT. And then I came around and looked more into it. And I think actually McCaffrey has a lot more risk to his profile being like not in the prime of his career versus JT like squarely in the prime of his career. The only risk is Daniel Jones' health. And that is something you have to think about. But I like if you told me right now this current way the draft is unfolding is like the standard ADP, even with the AJ Brown pick there, like I'm not super opposed. To me, the question becomes where do you take Hampton? Because I think I do lean. I've gone back and forth, but I do lean Achane and potentially Barkley ahead of Hampton. I have to think about that though because I've really come more around on Achane and like I was fading him because I was scared about the Dolphins' offense. But I think that I've had to like realize like no, Achane's also in the prime of his career. He's explosive. Like whatever the Dolphins do, he's gonna be a large percentage of it.
Yeah.
If we go Trey McBride, I'm gonna hate this team. So I feel like we almost go Nico, and then we have to figure out what we want to do with the second pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with Nico, and then like either running back or like Olave would probably be my pick at receiver, but I'd be fine with Rice or Devonta also. Or I mean, we can take McBride also. I mean, I don't have very much, but that's fine.
Should we just take McBride is kind of the question, or do you think Etienne can like be even better on the Saints than he was on the Jags?
I think he could be better on the Saints.
I'm open to it. And
I'd like to get my, I have almost 2% Trey McBride. That's feeling a little bit overexposed.
I would agree.
Yeah.
It's just hard. It's so hard for the elite tight ends to pay off. Even with Trey McBride smashing last season, he wasn't the guy you needed, and he wasn't even going as high. So it's just tough for me seeing him pay off. Bowers, I can kind of make the case for because he's even a little bit more exceptional, but it's still really expensive. I don't know, man. One of these years, elite tight end is going to burn us and be what you need. And I think I'm just more in the camp where it's like, that'll be the year that I, don't win. Most years we're not going to win, but I feel like the elite tight end paying off is like the once in a blue moon kind of thing where honestly, in reality, you kind of want the tight end that is semi-elite, but is either good enough in the right stretch of time or just kind of like jumps up a tier and you're it's obvious because that's kind of that's like the case for any positional group. We're like, oh, I wanted JSN in round 3 or 4 last year, and now he's a first round pick. Like you're kind of asking that from every positional group, but I feel like at tight end, it is really hard to get that one right.
Yeah. Well, and I think it feels more reasonable at tight end because like the scoring ceiling is so low at the position that like just a little bit of touchdown variance for a couple guys can like vault them like right into that like top 5 kind of fringe range. if they get a little bit luckier with that touchdown variance, where like, you know, if JSN caught a couple more touchdowns last year, but it's pretty much the same as the year before, other than that, he might get a slight rise, but it's not like way moving up the rankings of receiver. And also I think with McBride too, it's kind of like you were saying with Bowers, like they go close together, and I'm also just more of a believer in Bowers and the talent. I think I can also just tell myself too, like way less target competition for him, probably better QB play, hopefully better overall like offensive system even, or at least one that like I think I want to buy into with why am I dropping it? The guy from Seattle. I don't know why I just forgot his name all of a sudden.
Talking about tight ends, Barner?
No, the Raiders head coach.
Clint Kubiak?
Yeah. With
sorry, I was looking at the board and I was totally off. Can you scroll down just a little bit?
Oh yeah, sorry.
No worries.
But like with Clint Kubiak there, I feel like I want to buy into that offense more and just kind of believe in Bowers more. And then Loveland around later too, where it seems like might be able to get similar ceiling to McBride and pay a cheaper price.
I know, but even Loveland has a super high opportunity cost. Like these players are still so good. Okay, we took Mike Evans last time. I'm not opposed to doing it again. We also took Devontae Adams. Do you want to go JMO or do you want to go with the target guy? I think Mike Evans earns the most targets.
Okay, and I think I'm thinking.
What if we go
double?
Swift? Are you Swift or Judkins?
I like Swift for the game stack. Then I think Swift for the game stack. Yeah.
It is kind of hard for. I mean, JMO doesn't need the whole target share to win, but I feel like even though it's the Lions, they're one of the highest scoring offenses. Threading the needle between a JMO and a Gibbs on the same team with your first and fifth round pick, it's a little bit rich. But then again, like JMO only needs 4.5 touches per game to be useful. Kind of like Devontae Adams, like super high efficiency. You're looking for a big touchdown. Devontae Adams does it through like red zone touchdowns. JMO does it kind of from like more of like a deep pass connection standpoint. I honestly think Mike Evans out targets and has more receptions than definitely more than Adams and definitely more than JMO. The question becomes like I still need to finish like thinking through the Waddle scenario and like what his realistic ceiling is for targets and receptions. I think it can actually be pretty high. Based on the number of dropbacks that the Broncos had the last 2 seasons with Bo Nix. Carnell Tate's an interesting one. I'm starting to think, are we being too cheap on Carnell Tate? Should he be like a 4th round pick? I'm not drafting it like that yet, but I'm like starting to think it through. If he can really consolidate those targets, if Calvin Ridley's a non-factor, and Wandale is a target earner, but I mean Tate is way more talented, and like the Titans playing from behind. I'm trying to think it through, but it feels like for a first round wide receiver, relative to where we've been drafting them the last couple of years, Tate is pretty fairly priced, pretty cheap. And then the market's telling us based on where Calvin Ridley's ADP is that like he should be more of a non-factor than a factor. I was taking a good amount of Calvin Ridley late in drafts, but now I'm just starting to wonder, like, is it just too late for him? Is he just washed? Am I trying to hold on to something? And it's really just like, I should probably allocate even more targets to Tate.
Yeah, no, I've kind of felt the same way lately, just with that, like, number 3 overall draft capital. And like, you look at like T-Mac, for example, kind of like you were saying past years, like he was kind of close to that 4-5 turn, and you see Tate kind of moving up a little bit maybe, but yeah, like even Tate going, I think 8th overall in his draft, like he was getting higher draft capital, and he was on the Panthers with Bryce Young.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
And like you're saying with Ridley so late, it's kind of priced like a non-factor. Like I've kind of been coming around like kind of on that same idea, just with just with his draft capital and like you said, the historical wide receiver rookie pricing. I guess you can argue receivers are pushed back a little, but We're up.
Definitely not Hubbard. Lemon, I'm skeptical of. I almost want to just take Ramondre.
Okay, I like Ramondre there. That is our fourth running back.
Exactly. It feels good though to double down on our strength, and then I think we can still go receiver. I'm not very excited about Lemon.
No, me
Fuck
neither.
though, it's a tough spot. Like, what do you think we do? Should we do?
I
Should we
usually
do
would
Lemon?
go Pierce here.
I don't take enough Pierce. You know, I've always loved Pierce. He's very expensive. Like, let's just go Pierce. Let's just get it. Let's just do it. And
all right. Yeah. I mean, I think he feels okay there after last year. It is kind of a tough spot after that wide receiver run in the sixth. Like, I feel like a lot of times there I'd be maybe kind of hoping for a QB. Like, it would have been nice if we could have got like Hurts Lemon or something.
yeah, I think the way we're building this, we're gonna benefit from pushing QB, and I'm glad we got running back done with. Like, the wide receiver 3, to me, the opportunity cost is actually like, okay, if Pierce is not what we need, it's going to be okay. Like, you can take a risk in the 7th round for your wide receiver 3, it not pay off, and you can still have a team that makes it through as long as we're hitting on running back here. Like, that'll carry us. I think we can take some more shots on wide receiver later. Maybe there's an argument for like Lemon or Sutton there. I can definitely see it. If you told me that like Sutton has more receptions than Pierce in 2026, I wouldn't be that surprised. Lemon, though, I'm a little skeptical of based on the offense. New OC, Sean Mannion, and Hurts doesn't throw the ball a whole lot. We already know Devonta Smith is going to command a 30% target share. If Hurts is throwing the ball maximum 30 times a game, 10 of those are going to Smith. Another 6 to 8 are going to go to the tight ends, mostly Goddard. Maybe even 10 go to the tight ends. What's left? Some are going to go to the running backs. To me, Lemon's ceiling is like 6 targets per game. And if he can convert that to like 4.5 receptions and he's really efficient and he gets a lot of touchdowns, he could pay off his price. But if not, like, I'm questioning why he goes ahead of guys like QJ or Jacoby Myers, who definitely can earn the targets and the touchdowns that are going to, like, I don't know. I can see a path for some of these later wide receivers better than Lemon. It feels like we're just paying up for a rookie because of like the rookie excitement, but the landing spot was actually pretty bad.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think especially him and Hurts, like, since Lemon's such a winner, like kind of short area or intermediate over the middle of the field too, that just doesn't mesh with Hurts' game at all. Like, that's just he just has like really low target rates to that area. Maybe it's because of the talent they had, but I don't know. I don't feel like Lemon's a very good fit in that offense. And like you said, the volume overall is going to be pretty low. I don't really think he has the opportunity to take over as wide receiver 1.
No,
I mean,
there's no way.
Right, like, he's talented, but I mean, Smith's
He's talented.
Also uber talented.
He won the Biletnikoff. Like, he is good. I'm kind of thinking Mahomes here is hard to pass. Fannin is also interesting, but we could just do Mahomes and Worthy and then call it a day. Or do you want to go Fannin? It's a question mark. I think we do start with Mahomes though.
Okay. I probably lean Mahomes Worthy.
Probably.
But I'm also, I mean, you can see I have 0% fan. So
the question here with Worthy is, like, I actually like Myers a whole lot. And is he actually worth taking? But we have the stack. I don't mind relying on the stack.
Okay. All right, we'll get the stack then with Worthy.
The thing about Myers is he's gonna earn a shit ton of targets and he's in a really good offense. I think the case here is, though, we want healthy Xavier Worthy. There's a ceiling case to be made, and we're just stacking him up. This is best ball. Like, if this was a managed league, I would lean Jacoby Myers over Worthy, but because it's best ball, we have the advantage where we can compensate for like Worthy's like floor weeks, like his when he puts up less than 10 points, which is going to be, I mean, he was injured last year, but for Worthy, he's going to put up like less than a usable week pretty often.
Mhm.
Like, honestly, like probably like 60 to 70% of the weeks, he's like not hitting your lineup potentially, which is really bad. But
Yeah.
the weeks that he hits, you're gonna want him to like hit big, and obviously we have him stacked at home, so like that's like the whole thesis. I think Worthy, he's an expensive bet for a guy that might not be a big target earner.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. Like, I've always been kind of a Worthy hater. I do think the price is low enough that like his theoretical spike week upside is probably worth it, especially on a stack where
Right.
we don't have any other KC pieces. But yeah, it does seem really hard. I mean, he's really just not shown as much. I think, the problem is like last year there's a lot of excuses because the
Yep.
shoulder injury and all that. But even, and like even as a rookie, we really only saw it kind of once or twice later in the year, and then that garbage time Super Bowl. And it's like it does make it really hard to pick Worthy or like buy in. But it is also just, I think it also is like the Chiefs receiving core. There's no one there that's taking targets from other than Rice,
Yep.
who we're picking super high. It's just there's no one there that can really take him off the field or take away targets if he's healthy. So I think that's why we like kind of have to make the bet. But yeah, I agree. He still doesn't feel great, but the price I think seems like reasonable. It would be better if he went maybe like in the 10th round, but I think his price isn't too far over the top. But I'd probably pick like all four of these receivers other than Golden over him, like almost every time if I didn't have a stack.
So there is like in my mind there are so few paths to Worthy out targeting or like having a higher reception total than Jacoby Myers or Pittman or Pitts. Um,
Yeah.
what we're just betting on is the stacked spike week. So this is a complete best ball take. It's a complete we have Mahomes. Let's stack him with Worthy take. I
Mhm.
guarantee Myers and Pittman have more receptions and more targets. Like it's not even going to be close. Like they're going to have like 30% more, but it just depends on what weeks that comes out to like, playing out in our favor. If Worthy
Uh,
happens to have a 2-touchdown game in week 17 with Mahomes, boom, he's hitting our flex. We could win this thing. I
yeah.
like obviously I like the picks. I like the Kelsey pick. I'm a big KC guy. I think he's electric. I think he could be the best non-Quinshon Judkins player on the Browns. So I'm happy to take him there and make that pick. I'm trying to figure out, is there any QB here we need because of the QB pocket? It's kind of a reach up on Willis. Do you think Willis could add a lot to this team or no?
I I don't think so. I mean, maybe he could, but I do think we have options with like Stroud or Danny Dimes
Yeah, no,
if we
I
want.
love the KC pick. I've been super high on KC. Um, I watch SEC football. I keep a close tabs on A&M. He was Casey was by far the most exciting player on A&M's team last year, and they kind of put their eggs in one basket and thought that like his electric playmaking ability as like a punt returner, as a receiver, could carry their offense. It was kind of a sorry offense, and they're really relying on their defense. And at the end of the day, it didn't work out for them. Like they got destroyed in the SEC. They lost to Texas in the Thanksgiving matchup. But every time I watched A&M and I saw KC get the ball in his hands, you were just like, he felt like the grown man, like breaking tackles from accountants and like future car salesmen and stuff. Like he was just like the guy. Like he was a clear NFL player. So I think the fact that he's still going in round 11, which is where we were getting Jaden Higgins last year, I honestly think Casey is more exciting, and I think I was kind of predicting because I remember in the big board we were in KC around pick 140, then 130, then 120. It is the first Aggie that I like as well, except for Achane. I was super in on Achane. I've always been a huge Achane fan. So like, but very true. But honestly, I could make a case for KC going as high as we just took Worthy. And I get the exact same argument. Like Jacoby Myers and Pittman will earn more targets, will have more receptions. But at the end of the day, who's going to have more touchdowns? And are those touchdowns going to come at the end of the season during the fantasy playoffs when you need them? It's just like last year, Luther Burden, he had 2 touchdowns, but one of them happened to come in week 17, right? Like it was when you needed it. So it's kind of that play in my mind where I'm like, damn, KC, he's definitely not going to earn as many targets as Wandale or Khalil Shakir, but he's definitely more electric and more exciting, and I would expect a bigger spike in a given week. And that's the whole thing. It's like average fantasy points per game. I don't really care. I care that he can have a 20-point game when I need it.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And it, and I guess that is really one of those things that's like the best ball versus redraft, like just kind of the game we're playing, kind of the mindset. Because like I do feel that too, where like I feel like Worthy will almost assuredly like not be a smash at ADP as far as when you look at his total points at the end of the season. Maybe he could. He is like third-year player, could break out, take the next step. But like whenever I pick him, I always feel like I'm picking a guy who at the end of the year is not going to really pay off that price. But it's just, that idea of the single week, he could be the guy that spikes. And yeah, it is just interesting how some guys like that, they're so much more valuable just in this format, kind of like where to fit him in. Because, like you're saying, Myers should project better than him basically every single week.
And he will, like, for sure.
Yeah. So we could double tap. We could take one. You think double tap?
Let me just take a quick look at our receivers that we drafted, because I think we just double tap. I think we double tap unless there's a tight end, but I don't feel strongly about it. It's kind of an okay range for tight end. I don't feel strongly enough about any of these guys. It'd be Gadsden, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
I think we probably just.
What about receiver? Let's go Jones, but like, no, this is so flat.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, tight end maybe would have been a consideration. Like Gadsden wouldn't have been bad. He did.
Gadsden or Sadiq, because then you're just saying like Sadiq breaks out and we have the comfort of Kelsey.
Yeah.
For this team, because there's no reason to go Henry or Conquo. They don't really make sense on this team. They're good overall. Like they're good on any team, but like for this team, the thing with Gadsden is like, I don't know what's the target share there and what's the snap rate that he's going to get. And also it's a bring back for the Chiefs, but I don't want to force it.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, maybe it is a little bit of a mistake. Like I tend to kind of wait a little bit on tight end. I mean, I think it fit really good with like our Stroud and Danny Dimes. Like I guess we were kind of in a nice pocket, but I think we had like 2 pretty good stacks, like some of our top pieces. And then with Mahomes,
nice.
Like we maybe feel a little bit more fragile. I guess we took the other injured QB also, but it's like maybe we hope Stroud comes on early.
Well, look at the Stroud early season schedule. It's not bad.
Oh, is it pretty good?
I mean, I have to obviously pull up and refresh. I'm terrible at like, some people just like know the schedules like week in, week out. Pull it up. Maybe I'm wrong. I was under the impression the Texans schedule was okay to start, and then so get the Bills in the first game. Texans. Bengals is nice. Colts is fine. Cowboys is fine. Titans is nice. Jags is tough. Giants is, I think, good. Chargers is fine. Browns is tough. It's not.
Yeah, but I mean, we're pretty far by that point.
That's pretty far at that point. It's not the worst.
Yeah, that's not bad. In there. Bills, Bengals, Cowboys. I mean, those should all be decent scoring games.
And the Bills, Well, maybe not good for Nico Collins at least, but they were such a run funnel last year. Do you remember there was all those primetime paloozas where the Bills would be in primetime and then you'd be like avoiding all of the pass catchers on the opponent's team because the Bills were like a shutdown like defense for the passing, but then you could like run against them. So it was like ridiculous the effect the Bills defense had against the other team's pass catchers. It was like you would just cut their projection in half almost. It was like that drastic. The same thing was for the Cleveland Browns. When teams had to run against the Browns, you would like cut their running backs projection in half.
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially like early in the year, they were just like, I mean, I guess all year they were so shut down. But yeah, and like the Browns, they were just so shut down against the run. But the Bills, at least it kind of made sense how teams were like, well, if we can run for 250 a game, or like they were averaging almost like, what was it, like almost 200 a game at one point against the Bills run defense. And yeah, and I mean, if you're that efficient against them, it does make sense why you would kind of go away from the pass. And it's like you're just kind of like their pass defense is good, but you're also taking it away because the run defense is just so bad. All right, so we're about to be up again. Could take Schultz. I know he's a big like you're my guy.
You know, I don't mind him at all. I think it's okay in this range and it stacks well, so it's not bad. I also kind of like Barner a whole lot, but we don't want to like we don't have to go double tight end. I think Schultz is the first pick. Let's think this through because we've waited a long time at running back. Are there any running backs here we feel like is a tier break? Or are there any receivers here we feel like is a tier break?
Not especially at receiver. Running back would be Sampson or Tucker. You like anyone?
Let's go Barner and be done at tight end. I think Barner's a really strong pick.
All right. Yeah, no, I mean that feels pretty good. Kind of like, you know, four picks. We kind of handle all our onesies, get 3 at each.
It's not often that I do that, but I do feel like the receivers were getting so flat and running back's been dead for a long time. I mean, who doesn't remember Barner's fade route touchdown catch in the Super Bowl? The dude's a fucking stud. He's a red zone target. He's a play action pass, first read. I think they're going to even lean more into that. So bringing in what's his name, the new offensive coordinator for the Seahawks, Brian Fleury. He was the tight end coach for the 49ers with Kittle, and he was all about getting Kittle involved, being a major target. I swear, I think Barner could be the second target in this offense for the Seahawks for 2026. He might end up being the second guy in receptions. It'd be a kind of a big leap up, and we do also think that Shaheed's very involved and they just paid him a bunch, but maybe they're kind of paying Shaheed for some of his special teams talent. And I think ceiling Shaheed's earning like 4 receptions per game on 5 to 6 targets. He's pretty efficient with it. He catches the ball pretty well. So Barner would only have to get to 4.5 receptions per game to potentially be the number 2 receiver in this offense. And then I think he's one of their top red zone targets. I really do think that because they're going to be running so much play action passing. The way they just invested in Jadarian Price, they're going to be running the ball a ton. They're a run heavy offense. I think Barner is a nice piece. And the reason I'm tracking Barner so closely, I have him in a bunch of my dynasty leagues, and he has been an incredible addition. I have some best ball dynasty leagues where I'm super excited that I have Barner and that I got him so cheaply over the years, and he's on my rosters. So I've just been following him, and I think he's really continuing to rise. So it's a pretty where he goes between him and Helm and Auden, and then Njoku, he's way better than those guys.
Yeah, no, I am buying in a little on Gunnar Helm. I gotta be honest.
I
But,
don't mind Helm. I don't mind Helm.
But I can see the case for Barner. I mean, you do make a pretty good case, and he is like a legit like playmaker tight end. He's not just we got kind of a target compiler with Schultz and with Kelsey even. So it feels nice getting a guy who can actually make a play at.
What do we do? What do we do here at a wide receiver? It's got like. Do we have any faith in Ayuk? You want to skip it? Do you want to go Dell with one of them? I like Zachariah Branch. I like Malik Washington just fine. Chris Bell. Some people like. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Let's go Branch first.
Sure.
I'm not as in on Chris Bell, but that would be okay. I mean,
I don't care about Chris Bell. Like people like him. I think Malik Washington actually has a more interesting role as like being a dominant piece of that offense. Are there any running backs here you think make a difference? No.
Emmanuel Wilson?
Yeah. If you want to throw him in, if you want, no, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. I've got a bunch of Emmanuel Wilson. The more I think about it, I really do think it's the Jadarian Price show. And then Charbonnet comes back at the end of the season. I honestly think Jadarian Price can be a very high volume touch guy. So I'm drafting Price pretty aggressively. I think his baseline is like 15 touches. I think his bullish case is like 20 touches per game. But then the part that I'm not sure about is when Charbonnet comes back at some point in the season, how that split like changes up. And I do think before Charbonnet comes back, we potentially see Wilson and or Helani having like a 6 to 8 touch per game role. I don't know if it's exactly standalone value for either one of them. We saw Emmanuel Wilson he finished running back 2 in week 15. Was it week 15 or was it week 13? But whatever week Josh Jacobs missed, Emmanuel Wilson put up a 25-point week. He was RB2 on the week. It happened to be a lower scoring week for running backs. I think Emmanuel Wilson has a nice contingent value. I think the investment in Jadarian Price is like a strong signal from them. And then Charbonnet was actually like pretty good last year. So I drafted a lot of Emmanuel Wilson. I think he's a fair pick. I'm just a little bit unsure of like when and where his touches come from. And so, I mean, at this point late in the draft, it's like, what's the difference between him and any other kind of contingent play?
Yeah, and that's fair because, like, I don't know. Yeah, Price, obviously, the draft capital, like that signals he's going to kind of be the day one starter you'd imagine. And I think Helani is he kind of projects more to get like that pass catching work and kind of maybe get in a little bit that way. So it could kind of leave Emmanuel Wilson even like outside looking in to like change the pace or something. Like Helani might even take part of that RB2 role, and they might even be splitting that between them. With Price kind of taking the lion's share. So
right.
Yeah.
What do you think of this last pick? Darnell Washington going off is pretty interesting. He had the big deal lately. It's going to be, so we're 3, 4, 7, 3. Look at our bye weeks for our running backs. Is there anyone else? I think we go hyper fragile. What do you think?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'd be fine with that. It's strong enough. Receiver, or what do you want to do?
Look at our receiver room real quick. I'm cool with Hank Dell if it just goes to it. But what of our receiver room? Like, do we have any terrible bye week overlaps?
I mean, we did have Evans and Nico week 8, but it's
fine. No, I think Dell with the last round pick is actually kind of a fun pick. We already had the Zachariah Branch and KC bets, and then Malik Washington. Honestly, is a pretty good like shot, a dart throw. He could lead the Dolphins in receptions. Like he easily could be their top receiver. Is it Tolbert? I don't know. Is it Tutu? No. Is it Chris Bell? Probably not. Is it Douglas? Probably not. Is it Dulcich? Probably not. Could be. But Washington's been there. He's been there like guy they've leaned on. He's kind of like Deebo Samuel light. And I swear, I think I've been trying to figure this out for the Dolphins. Like, obviously Achan's fine, but like one of their other picks has to be fantasy relevant, and they're all going in like the last 2 or 3 rounds. So like one of them has to like be a good value, just on volume alone.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I think they're going to be one of the lower pass volume teams in the whole league, though, right? Well, maybe not, because they're going to be losing a lot. So they probably
No, that you're right. They will be, and even if Malik Willis sucks, there's there's only it can only get so bad.
That's
so
true.
Who's the top receiver on the Dolphins in 2026?
I mean, it's got to be either like, unless they sign someone, it could be not on the team, but like it's got to be Malik Washington or Caleb Douglas. Because to me, Chris Bell is going to have such a hard time actually like getting involved and getting up to speed, like not learning the playbook at all, not being able to practice as a rookie. I just really am having a hard time buying into him having much of an impact this year at all. I do agree with the take I've heard some people have where because I kind of compared it to JMO where he barely got on the field for the Lions, but they were like pretty good that year. And with the Dolphins being a bad team, maybe that does help them just kind of want to showcase the guy, get him on the field. But maybe it kind of goes the other way where they want to preserve the rookie they just got who's coming off torn ACL, and they're already a losing team, so maybe they just let him rest up. I don't know. He just seems like a bet where like his draft capital wasn't really high enough. He was a prospect some people really like, but the draft capital wasn't really there enough for me to buy in with like the torn ACL. I think the biggest thing is just if he is as talented as like the believers think, then when he's healthy, he's probably just going to wash everyone in that room. I guess that's maybe kind of the bet with Chris Bell, but I'm having a real hard time clicking any of him.
I have not been clicking Chris Bell. I think in all honestly, it's like any offense in the league can only be so bad, and the Dolphins were kind of exaggerating like how bad it can get. I don't think there's been an NFL offense that's averaged like less than 200 yards of offense like ever. And no NFL offense has ever averaged like less than a touchdown per game. So there's like a certain floor. And what it just comes down to for me is like, and I think I've been over exaggerating like how low the floor can be. But do you want a wide receiver 3 who might be the 3rd or 4th target in a good offense or any given offense, like a Ryan Flournoy, versus like his ceiling is so capped. There's 0% chance he could ever be the top target on his team or like earn the most touchdowns on his team or even like the 3rd most versus a guy like Malik Washington who sure maybe they're scoring half as many touchdowns as the Cowboys. But like he could be like the top guy. So to me, it's just like I'm trying to find guys that have standalone value. I don't want to make a huge, soapbox case for Malik Washington. At pick 193, he's essentially free, and you might be getting like the top receiver on an NFL team, which is like on 90% of the teams, those guys are gone in the first like 6 rounds. So, and we even have teams where wide receiver 2 is gone like very early. Obviously, like Pickens, JMO, Devontae Adams. Like there's so many teams where like the second receiver has a super high ceiling. I think every single year there's these teams we count out like, oh, the Colts suck. You don't want any Colts on your team. And one of the guys pays off. Now we're drafting Alec Pierce in the 7th round or wherever we took him. So all of that to say, I feel like the Dolphins are they're like oversold. They're like everyone knows the Dolphins are going to suck. So like when everyone's saying the same thing, you kind of want to like pivot. It's in the same, almost the same way where like everyone's saying the Bears are good. Everyone's like, oh, the Bears are so good. Caleb's a super high pick. Colston Loveland's a super high pick. Luther Burden's a super high pick. Rome's a super high pick. They're all like, everyone's in agreement that the Bears are good. That makes me want to be like more bearish on the Bears. Like, maybe we shouldn't be so optimistic. But then where everyone's in agreement, the team sucks. Oh, the Browns suck. They can't do anything. The Dolphins, they're terrible. That's, I think, where like there's a little bit of opportunity to like beat the market. It's not going to be on the teams where there's more ambivalence, where it's like, oh, I would
Like the
say a
Bengals
team like who?
or like the Bengals or something. Where it's
I
just
think the
super obvious.
Bengals people pretty much align on. They like know the offense is good. The question is just like, yeah, maybe. Another team people think kind of suck is like the Texans, but for some reason they've started to like, they've moved up Montgomery, so like it kind of. But another team is maybe the Titans. Everyone's like, oh, the Titans suck, and you see Pollard going pretty late. You see Tate going pretty late. Relative to like where their first positional player is drafted, like the Titans are pretty late.
The one I like a lot, I think it's even a little later than the Titans, would be the Steelers. Right? Because their first RB is just after Pollard, basically, or same range, I guess. But
Totally.
They're one I bought in like a ton, like kind of top to bottom. I'm willing to buy most Steelers. I don't like Warren very much, but almost all.
Yeah, one thing I always look at, like some people post charts or like little like graphs on Twitter occasionally of where's like the first player drafted of a skill position player, and then where's like the last player drafted, or like it kind of shows like the ranges. And anytime you have a team where like their first skill position player, like you were saying, like the Steelers or like the Titans, is being drafted, and it's like way, way, way after any other team has already drafted like 2 or 3 players, you just start to think like from like an arbitrage perspective, like there's got to be some value here. I don't need this guy to do that much if he's this cheap. So that's kind of where I come around on like being more open to drafting the Browns and the Dolphins late. And for the Browns, it's like KC. I'm okay with Denzel Boston. I'm not super stoked. I'm actually a little bit more in favor of like Jerry Jeudy, I think is kind of like a good value like late when it comes there. And then for the Dolphins, I've recently come back around on Achane. I've started to dip more into Dulcich, and I've started to like think that Washington probably has the best case for wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Like I've been like coming around Dulcich, like I'm pretty in on him, like taking him last round lately. I think I'm with you on the Malik Washington take, but I'm kind of avoiding it for right now. But I think I do agree with you that he's probably the odds-on favorite to like lead them in receiving, lead them in targets, maybe. I think with Achane though, that's one where I just can't get there. I just think like when you look like when Tua went down and he didn't have that like those easy dump offs, just getting scam targets every game, it just his ceiling, he just kind of like collapsed. Like those games were terrible, right? Not terrible, but relative to draft capital.
I don't know the answer. I want to investigate this with you because Achane is like a hot topic for me right now. I've always loved him. I'm trying to figure out like where it's reasonable for him to go. Let's pull open the game log. We can either do like player profiler or like whatever we want to look at. Let's look at first. Let's look at Tua. Let's pull open the Tua game log from 2025. Let's dive into like where he was active, where he was healthy, like what games like he wasn't in. And then let's pull it open to perfect. This is like sleeper. Then let's pull open to Achane and try to like correlate and figure out. So
I guess the injury was 2 years ago, right? Because last year Tua was mostly healthy.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's keep tabs on. Let's just focus on last year first. Tua was serviceable in week 15. Before that, he's okay against Buffalo in 10. He was good in week 8 against Atlanta, which is why they signed him. He was good in week 5, and he was decent in week 2, 3, and 4. So 2, 3, 4, 5, good. 8, good. And then was it 15?
Yeah, 15's fine.
Okay, so now go to Achan. Let's kind of test out this thesis around the quarterback play, the dump offs. I don't know the answer. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Honestly, okay from Achan, not like out of the park. Week 6 was pretty good, which would be not with Tua. Week 8 was pretty good, not with Tua. Go to week 11 was pretty good. Week 10 was insane against Buffalo. That's a nice matchup, and that's his week 17 matchup. So just one more thing to think about. Go to week was it week 15? It was pretty good, 16-5. And the weeks around that were all pretty decent. The Buccaneers were pretty solid run stop defense. The one thing with Achan though, the comments around the Dolphins being bad, what I was anchoring to was the fact they might not score that many touchdowns. Let's start from week 1 on Achan. How many fantasy points did he have? And did he or did he not score a touchdown? So week 1, 15, it's okay. He scored a touchdown. Week 2, 22. But even without the touchdown, he's scoring that would be like what, 16 points. So pretty good even without the touchdown. But week 3 against Buffalo, no touchdown, kind of a low flex. Week 4, he has 1 touchdown, and he wouldn't be good without it. Week 5, he has a touchdown. He wouldn't be good without it. Week 6, 2 touchdowns, but without the touchdowns, he's still putting up, which would have been like 17 points, which is still really solid without the touchdowns. And then week 8, he gets a touchdown there. He would have been pretty bad without it. He puts up 37.5 points week 10 with the 2 touchdowns. Even without the 2 touchdowns, he's still putting up like 25 points. Week 11, he has 19 points with no touchdowns. That's like pretty hard to do. Same, I guess week 13, he has a touchdown, but then 19 points. So he's still hitting your flex with no touchdowns in that week. Same thing for kind of week 14. He could maybe hit your flex with if he didn't have that touchdown. Week 16 would kind of suck without the touchdown, but week 15 and week 17 are okay with no touchdowns. So I think, and this is very anecdotal, it's like, it's one season, but I think his yardage, his receptions, his explosiveness, his ability to score a big touchdown on any given play, I think that compensates enough for the Dolphins just sucking. His target share is going to be pretty elite among running backs, regardless of the volume, the passing volume.
See,
and
but
then his touch share should be pretty elite too.
See, that's where I'm just not sure if I agree though with the target share, right? Because isn't that kind of the whole thing with running quarterbacks is
yes,
they tend to target the running backs less because it's kind of short area, right? They can just run it themselves. I don't know. I guess to me the big concern is the receptions falling off. That was more what I was talking about. When Tua was out, is just we saw the receiving fall off a lot. The rushing was bad. That was 2 years ago. So maybe it's not the best example, but I just think some of these where we really saw that floor. It's like this one, right? 10 targets, 8 catches, 92. Obviously he can still explode on the receptions, but
right.
Do you think we get 10 targets, 9 targets, 7, 6, 7, 10? Are we seeing that same range, you think?
No.
And it is weird because he's probably the best receiver on the team, like realistically. So
he could just be their lead them in receptions. Like honestly,
well, maybe they use him more like actually down the field and running routes. You know, a lot of teams say that with the running backs, but maybe they're so desperate they like actually use him more like that.
what was
Maybe
his
he does get
reception
more.
total for the last 3 years?
Let's see. It was 67, 78, and then only 27 as a rookie.
I'm kind of projecting him for like 70 receptions. So
Really?
yeah, I think you're right though. It could be less. What it would take though is across 17 games, if he was only getting 3 receptions per game, he'd still be at like 51, which is kind of probably what I think is like his floor. I think there's like the chance that he leads the team in receptions is in play because it could only be like 65 receptions or 70 and he can still probably he definitely outpaces Dulcich, no doubt. Like there's no doubt. The question is if any receiver can step up and get above 70 receptions. That's like Devontae Adams territory.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and yeah, maybe I'm a little bit too low on the offense. Or like not the offense, but just maybe they do get like they do kind of have to get like manufacture him touches or figure out a way to get him touches either way, just with so little talent. So I mean maybe he does hit like, you know, similar numbers or like even a little bit better. I guess
It was
it's
a
not.
crazy stat. He's only had 3 fumbles and 1 fumble lost in his entire career. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, especially for such a small running back. That's
Well, so like the knock on him coming into the NFL was like, oh, he's small, but like every game he played at A&M, he was averaging like 30 to 35 touches per game. Like he was not a small. He was like a guaranteed workhorse. One of the reasons I was super high on him coming into the league, and he's always been to me more comparable to Gibbs. Um, and honestly, he's not that far off from Bijan. From a BMI perspective, like he's right there with Gibbs and Bijan. Like he like 191, whatever. Maybe he plays at 185. Who like what's the even difference? If you're gonna be like this productive, especially in the pass catching, it seems like he has a nose for the end zone. I mean, 11 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns. He's got a really nice consistency on scoring. I think we're overselling Achane on how bad we assume the Dolphins will be. He's in the prime of his career. He's 24 years old. He's never averaged less than round up, 4.5, 5 yards per carry. And he's never had in a full season where he's the starter less than like 60, 70 receptions. And he's always had like double-digit touchdowns. I think he might be one of the more slept on players this year. At first I didn't see it. I'm starting to come around to it. We definitely have to back off a little bit because of the whole Malik Willis uncertainty and like the fact the Dolphins have all new coaching. But like, man, this could be like one of the more slept on fantasy assets that is truly like deserving of a first round pick.
Yeah. I mean, you do make a pretty good case. I don't know. I might have to get more Achane because like
The efficiency is there. The efficiency is definitely there.
Yeah, and just as a pure runner, I mean, you can put him up like you said, he's closer to Gibbs. Like you can put him up against almost anyone. Like as a runner, just his explosive rate, like any carry he can take to the house, one of the highest explosive rates in the league on like workhorse volume. And that's the thing, like his explosive rate and just like his ability to break off those home runs, it doesn't seem like it goes down at all the more carries you give him. You know, like some guys you see that when they do get that little lower volume, they can have really high like rate stats or per touch stats, but Achane just like it stays even at 250 touches. So it is it is a fair point. Like the fears on the Dolphins, maybe it is a little bit much. Like, I mean, realistically, is A-Chain the only Dolphin that's like even guaranteed to get, or A-Chain and Malik Willis are the only Dolphins we draft every time guaranteed even. So, I mean, yeah, just with that little of competition, maybe I should be buying in a little bit more.
I feel like Dulcich has become 100% drafted. Like he wasn't always. He's starting to be there more. I guess Malik Willis is. I don't keep strict tabs on it to know. But there's definitely like an opportunity any given season to draft players on the perceived worst offense where like we're drafting the Bucks third running back, we're drafting the Cowboys third receiver, we're drafting the, name a team, we're drafting their like third or fourth skill position player. Why aren't we drafting like a guy that could just earn a bigger piece of a pie on like a worse team?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that's a good point. That's a good point. I might have to capitulate a little to that, take a little bit more H-N.
I'm starting to think more about it. I'm gonna dive deep into it this weekend. I'm gonna be doing a deep dive comparison on like Genty versus Cook versus Achan. I thought the answer was obvious. I thought it was obviously gonna be Genty and Cook, and Achan was kind of like the odd man out. But like, I'm not so sure now.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be interested in that because I don't know. I think I'm just a Genty slappy.
I think we all are. Because also the assumption is like Genty's. Oh, he's a great pick. Are the Raiders any better than the Dolphins in 2026? Like, it seems like a foregone conclusion, but like realistically, and then when it comes down to what's the competition for targets and for touches, I would argue Bowers is a more dominating force in that offense than anything the Dolphins have. At the same time, I do think Mendoza attempts more passes than Malik Willis naturally, and if they throw in Kirk Cousins for a few weeks, like that, probably even more. But I don't know how much it matters, like marginally. What does Malik Willis get to? Like, does he get to 30 pass attempts a game? How many is Mendoza going to have? Aren't they going to be protecting their rookie and like not making him throw like 40 times a game?
Yeah, I mean, probably, yeah, but I mean, they're still going to be actually Zero Man Down and Kubiak is wild. Like that actually kind of brings up a good point of like how Seattle was ran, I guess, right? Where they weren't super high volume, but it was kind of just like more efficient play action passing, stuff like that. And just kind of going off the run. Now, like, I do think they'll probably do something similar on the Raiders. So they probably will be a more run heavy team, probably similar to Seattle, right? We even saw that in the draft. I guess they went and got Mike Washington. They didn't get any receiving help.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely do agree. Like their pass volume probably won't be anything crazy. Maybe they even start out passing a little bit heavier with like Kirko and then go to a little bit more like play action kind of ground and pound with Mendoza, which does make sense too, because like Kirk probably isn't as good in the play action because he can't really move anymore. Where like Mendoza could actually make that system maybe work better. It's like maybe with Kirk they're chucking it a little bit more, and with Mendoza they're ground pound play action.
Yeah, my take on it is Mendoza is like gonna be very good in play action. And that they're gonna lean on that to just take pressure off of him. And he's gonna be, in my opinion, I would think Mendoza is gonna be more of like a first read guy because he seems like the kind of guy that like can learn a scheme and it kind of is a bull case for Bowers unless they bring in one of these free agent receivers. I start to see the picture for Bowers and like that he might just get like 150 targets. I mean, what would that even be at a 17 game pace?
Like 8 a game, 8 point something a game.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like 9 a game. And if Mendoza throws like 35 a game, it's like Bowers having like a 39% target share. It's a little high.
How many targets did you say?
So if
Like
Mendoza's
150?
throwing 35 times a game and Bowers, if we're getting him, well, what I mean, I said targets, I guess. So if Bowers gets to 150 targets, that's 8.8 targets per game. But if Mendoza's only throwing 35 times a game, that would be like a 39-40% target share. It's too high.
Is it? Is it for? I mean, so how did the Raiders throw a lot in Bauer's rookie year? Because he did hit what he hit 153 targets his rookie year.
It's a good question. Was
Probably
that
not,
Gino?
right? Because they would have had like Jimmy G and Gardner and stuff, right? That's that year. So it would have been 2 years ago. So it's the year before Gino, isn't that? Is
I
that
just know
Gardner?
that I know that like
AFC?
for like a reference point, and it depends on like how many passing attempts you're getting. But JSN just set like kind of a benchmark where he had 38% target share, which was like extremely high, very consolidated. That's kind of like you wouldn't project someone to even have that much. I think anything above 30% target share is like exceptional. So then it just comes down to like what's the actual passing volume.
Mhm. So yeah, I mean, if you're saying 35 a game though, then he can get there pretty easy, right?
It could be more. It could be more is the thing. I think that's pretty conservative actually. So like that's where it
Oh,
comes into question.
well, wait, but isn't at 35 though? That'd be like a 25% target share, right? A little bit higher, like
Uh
26. Because
uh
nine a game times 4 would be 36, right? So then that would
maybe I
be
did the math wrong. So I was thinking like let's just say 9 targets per game divided by 35. Yeah,
like
no, I was just doing
26.
bad math. That's like 25%.
Okay, yeah. So he could get there.
That makes more sense because I also, yeah, you brought up a good point. I was thinking, I was like, wait a second. I was about to look up Trey McBride and see what he was doing. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I guess we got lost on the whole thought process of what Bowers can do, but it is possible. It is possible to get there. Even in a low volume passing attack, it's important to figure out like who can even get to like 20% target share. If it's very if it's not consolidated, if it's very like dispersed, and that's kind of where I come back to like Malik Willis or Dulcich being interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean I don't know, you definitely do make a good point.
Or
I think
Achan, because like
maybe
Achan probably out targets them, honestly.
yeah, I think maybe like I was putting a little bit too much weight into them being a bad offense, but also like Malik Willis being more of a running quarterback and not really trusting his passing. I think maybe I was putting a little bit too much weight in that where like even if I don't trust him as a passer and like I don't think he's going to be the best, like a great passing quarterback, maybe he could be, but besides the point, like either way they're going to put up stats. Someone has to, put up stats on that team. And when they're so free, so cheap, it probably is worth it to take more stabs at that because, like you said, who else are you taking? Like the maybe wide receiver 2 on the team or wide receiver 3, or you can maybe get the Dolphins wide receiver 1. So that I think that argument definitely makes a lot of sense. I'll probably mix in those guys a little bit more.
Like click on the wide receiver tab. There's so many picks here that I think are really bad. I hate to say it, but Mooney, I'm pretty out on after
Yeah, me
drafting
too.
him so much last year.
Yeah.
Fields is okay for rookie upside, but like I'm not that excited. Chris Bell, I'm not very excited. Cup is draftable. Hill is scary. Franklin, I think, is honestly draftable because he was earning like 4 receptions plus per game last season. There's like a natural shower narrative connection with him and Bo Nix. Even with Waddle there, I think if we see any kind of decline from Cortland Sutton, is picked up by Franklin. So I'm honestly, anytime I draft Bo Nix, I'm almost always drafting Franklin. It's Pat Bryant, the one that I'm less convinced on because we just haven't seen it yet. We saw more out of Franklin. We saw more target earning out of Franklin. Some people like on like fantasy Twitter like to make the narrative that like Pat Bryant was taking Franklin's job in snaps at the end of the season. I don't really see that in the stat box. Kind of like, so I'm not crazy about Pat Bryant either. I think he's more in the category for me of like Kyle Williams, where it's just like it didn't happen. Keon Coleman's interesting because the sunk cost they have in him is like a first round draft pick, so he's kind of interesting. I think Rashad Bateman's interesting because for him not to be the wide receiver 2, you're banking on 2 rookies. But at the same time, I think Surratt is not the worst pick. Jacoby Lane's the one I have a harder time getting to. Jack Besh, I think, is interesting and kind of fun because it's such an open wide receiver room. Jalen Noel, I think, is interesting. I think going a little bit underdrafted. And then I think Yoshivas is okay if he's stacked. Otherwise, as we get below like the Yoshivas line, that's where I really start to like wonder if there's any value in any of these guys. Like Hollywood Brown, you could make a case for if he gets more opportunity with the Eagles, but again, it's a low passing volume offense. The whole Keenan Allen thing, I just can't really see it like being a guy you need. So it's kind of hard to get there. I think most of that volume that Keenan Allen was getting should get reallocated towards Ladd, QJ, Gadsden, and then to some extent Trey Harris. So I think Trey Harris is like draftable. And then once you get past this, anyone could convince me that like Turpin or Hollins or Leggett are draftable, but like I'm probably not really clicking them unless I really am desperate for a stack or just want to get different.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Like sometimes I'll get on some of these guys for stacks, but I think you named most of the ones I'm ever clicking to. The Devon Vele hive runs strong. I'm not necessarily part of it. Christian Kirk intrigues me a little.
Yeah.
Just because, like, Stribling, I think a lot of people aren't big fans of Stribling, so I'd be kind of interested to see if, like, Kirk kind of maintains wide receiver 3 over him, at least early in the year, like, kind of through the summer. But, he'd kind of be same thing, more on, like, stacks. Other than that, yeah, maybe just, like, Cooper Kupp, but some of these guys I'm clicking more of, like Noel and Bash I click some of. And then Keon, I'll pretty much click him most of the time on like a Bill stack or something. Oh yeah, OBJ is signed. He's playing. What's up, Omega? Thanks for stopping by, bro. What's up, Listoic? Thanks for stopping by. Candyman is Troy Franklin fan.
I find myself drafting an okay amount of Bo Nix. Maybe I need to like pump the brakes because the whole ankle injury. I think historically though, his fantasy points per drop back is like consistently good with like the Jordan Love range, the Jared Goff range. So like I know that he's injured coming into the season with the ankle, but part of me is just like okay with Bo Nix price. And then that makes me think that any potential stacking and pass catching like option with Bo Nix can also be pretty good. So I do find myself taking Troy Franklin like a decent amount.
Yeah, and I mean they did build up that connection. Like over 100 targets last year. I mean that's He did get real legit volume. Like I remember like kind of regretting being lower on Troy Franklin last year, just when he was I think it was like right before kind of fantasy playoffs. He had a nice stretch where he was like really commanding some high target shares. And no, I mean that is a good point. There's also obviously contingent upside, good offense. But even just without that, yeah, like just having that rapport, maybe he just like can hit some spike games or get some targets, like even with Waddle and Sutton in his way. Where like like Pat Bryant doesn't have that as much. Um, yeah, no, I mean that is a good point. Maybe a little bit more Troy Franklin should be coming.
He's kind of a target earner. Another player just mentioned in the chat was Torrey Horton. I think Torrey Horton's pretty interesting. The fact they signed Shaheed puts a little damper on that, like the big deal for Shaheed and the trade for him. I do think Torrey Horton's kind of interesting. I don't like the fact that he's not healthy. Like that's my issue with him.
Yeah, I was really in pre-draft, but once they re-signed Shaheed and then like you were saying the injury, like I don't mind throwing on a build here and there, but it makes it hard to have have any real exposure to him. There's just so much in the way. Like maybe if he gets on the field and he starts impressing in camp and stuff, I can get kind of back in. But I think I got to see him at least on the field doing a little something in the summer before I'm clicking him hard. Omega likes Horton. All right. So I think we can go over the team real quick. We look at Brew Crews. I saw I think he had it up, but we can check his team real quick. So we did 3-4-8-3. We went Pat Mahomes, CJ Stroud, Danny Dimes, Jahmyr Gibbs, Travis Etienne, DeAndre Swift, Ramondre Stevenson, Nico Collins, Mike Evans, Alec Pierce, Xavier Worthy, Casey Conception, Zachariah Branch, Malik Washington, Tank Dell, Travis Kelce, Dalton Schultz, AJ Barner. So I mean, I think we built pretty solid. Our QB room's really strong. Only went 4 RBs, but I think we feel pretty good with all 4 of them. No overlapping buys. Pretty decent receiver room. We didn't spend a ton of early capital. We got some volume. Got 3 guys we feel pretty good about. 2 guys we feel real good about, and then 3 tight ends I think feel pretty good altogether. Tight end feels decent.
Do any of the RBs have a week 8 bye?
Etienne, Travis Etienne.
But even then, like Gibbs, Swift, Ramondre hitting the flex, and then only having to start 3 wide receivers between like the other that 5 that we drafted. It's doable.
Yeah, it'll be pretty thin that week, but
what about tight end?
Spike out of
just Schultz. So I mean, we could potentially have like Kelce and Barner both score a touchdown, and like one's in the flex. So there's some resiliency, but I'm not worried about it. I do think hyperfragile was the right play here.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think we needed that little bit extra receiver volume. And I think we kind of were able to do that by only going 4 running backs. Because I think the QB room would feel way worse if we were missing one of these guys. And tight end would probably feel a decent amount worse if we were missing one of these guys. Maybe you could argue we could have picked like a later tight end instead of one of these 2. But I think the hyper fragile was the right move to let us get the extra receivers there. I think that.
Yeah, I think the QB, running back, and tight end are strong. The tight end is strong enough for not having an elite tight end. Has good stacks. I think the wide receiver room, we attacked it with volume, and that's kind of like our weak point, because after our wide receiver 2, you can argue it's like not the strongest. But I think I probably only draft like 10% of my team's hyper fragile, and this is kind of like how I like to play it. You get value at QB, and then but like it's not like we took, we still have Stroud, Daniel Jones, and Patrick Mahomes. These are guys who are all expected to be starters for like the entire season. I know we have Daniel Jones and Mahomes with some injury concern, but it's not like we took super late, guys who could get benched. And
Right.
then at the wide receiver, we still started with Nico and Mike Evans, at least having one of them stacked. And then we did end up stacking our wide receiver 3 and 4. I think the wide receiver room was the weak part of this team. Nico Collins, like, exceeding all expectations and being a complete smash would be very nice. And you're like, this running back room is sick. So like, it really just takes, in my mind here, the way we separate in advance 2 out of 12 is it's more of a Nico driven, like, ceiling outcome.
Yeah. No, I think I agree.
And maybe if Stroud is like doing really solid, it's the rising tide lifts all boats. And then like Schultz and Tank Dell are also like somewhat interesting and flexible into that spot. And then that kind of pays off too.
Yeah, and at least, I mean, and we did, like you said, like Stroud kind of rising tide, and we did really stack out that Texans offense. So yeah, I mean, that feels like a pretty good bet. And yeah, I mean, I think other than week 8, if we can make it out of week 8 alive, this team has a chance.
It's funny. I don't always like hyper focus on this, but like we have no Packers, we have no Chargers, and I guess we have Browns. We had KC, so like there's some week 17 bring back, but it's not like we weren't like hyper focused on it. We're more just like, I think the thesis of this team was trying to make the best pick in each round while being conscious of the like architecture or like the positional allocation or draft capital at each position group. Like when it came to our wide receiver 3, we were trying to, like, that was kind of a crunch point for us when we look at the draft board, like looking back at this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was a pretty big, like, kind of decision point. Like if we go RB there, or like we go tight end maybe or something, it like has a pretty big effect on the build, because then we're probably just ripping like receivers all through here or something. If we go like quarterback, like a onesie here or something.
It's interesting to see, like, I wonder what the ceiling could be for Alec Pierce. I don't think he pays off this ADP most of the time, but there is that part of like his outcomes where he just is the guy. Pittman leaving opens up a lot of like targets to funnel to him. So it is kind of intriguing. We've never paid this much for Alec Pierce, but his like average depth of target and his yards per reception has always been kind of like top of the league. So it will be interesting to see if the Pittman target void can elevate Pierce to a level that like we wouldn't expect.
Yeah, no, and I mean that is what makes it so hard. I think like, having the vacate targets where like Pittman and him don't really have the same role, and I wonder how much we see like Alec Pierce's ADOT drop if he does get like a higher target share, and maybe he does take over some of that like Pittman role in some way. Like, does that kind of like, how much do you lose from like the ADOT, the explosive plays, stuff like that? Maybe you don't. Maybe you just kind of gain, and that's how he pays off. But I don't know. That is one like concern I guess I have with him, like taking over a bigger role and just a bigger target share, is maybe he drops a little bit in that like efficiency or ADOT.
Yeah, I'm starting to question, like, and I'm looking into it. JMO was very efficient on a per touch basis, per reception basis. I'm starting to look into it is much different for Alec Pierce. The problem with Alec Pierce was the targets and earning targets and getting receptions. But he is extremely efficient with them when he gets them. I just wonder how much that changes as the volume increases, as like the sample size increases.
Right.
I think a high end comp for him is like Jameson Williams. So it's not super far off from his ADP, like his ceiling outcome. I think there is a path to it with just a little bit more volume, because technically he's one of like the more efficient players. It's just we haven't seen him get anywhere near elite volume. If Alec Pierce is catching like 5 balls a game, he's probably a smash.
Yeah.
He
Well,
just
yeah,
has
I mean,
never. He's been closer to like 3 than 5, so it'd be a big jump.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, and like that thing with the like efficiency, like over 20 yards a catch both the last 2 years. And
Yeah,
it's just, yeah, how much can that really stay if you're getting 130 plus targets or 125 plus targets? Like, does that stay the same? Or maybe not even that much, but like even over 100, like, right, his highest target share is 84. So it's like, even over 100 targets, how much does that ADOT drop? Does it drop to, or yards per catch drop? Is it 18 or 19 now? If you're a little bit more than that, does it drop even more? Yeah, I think it's definitely a concern with him, especially when like his samples are so small.
I know.
Like how much do those big plays influence those numbers, and do you still get that same effect like when it's a
Right.
higher volume, right? Like, are those spike plays kind of carrying them a little?
The scare to me is that he earns like 70 targets, 40 receptions,
Mhm.
800 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns, and then it's just like a complete bust pick. And he should be going, 6 rounds later based on that kind of performance. So it's tough though, because his efficiency has been super elite, and like the vacuum, or not the vacuum, the touches or the receptions that were going to Pittman that need to be reallocated, like where does that go? It is kind of a big question, because it's not like the Colts have any other pass catchers we're worried about. It's literally him, Warren, Downs, and the running backs. And so
I guess in theory, Warren, right? He kind of
yeah,
takes
it's Warren.
Pittman's role.
Yeah, Warren. I think Warren is the assumed top receiver.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
it's the
definitely.
question of, is it Downs or Pierce? If it's Pierce as the wide receiver 2, or not, as the
Pass
second
catcher
most
too.
receptions on the team, he probably could pay off the ADP. But then I think that's kind of the bull case for a lot of the guys who are really into Downs, is they think that actually Downs earns more targets than Pierce, and Pierce maintains this role. So I haven't heard a lot of discourse on the Colts wide receiver room and like the bear case against Pierce. I'd be interested to see, like, how other people are playing it. The only thing I can think back to is just where we've drafted Pierce every single season before this year. It's like always the last 3 or 4 rounds. Like, he's never been a top pick.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, and I will give him, we did see him take a small step in his target share, but yeah, it wasn't, 15 target increase. It's like nothing insane, right? I mean, it's notable, it's a decent chunk, but I guess part of the Pierce argument too is with how much they paid him and with letting Pittman go, I guess the signal of like what is, because like I do believe in their head coach and his offensive system. So if they're planning that, that must mean that they intend to use Pierce in that way. I still agree though, Tyler Warren's probably pass catcher 1, but I think the signal from the team, the signal from that massive contract they gave him, I think that's part of what's like blowing up his price too, because we do, or at least I do, like trust Steichen. And if they're making that decision, I guess I trust him to put Pierce in a position to succeed. But it is all questionable when he's just never had to do that role. and they have Warren, who is such a dominant target earner. I mean, could he be a guy who's at 150, 160 targets?
Totally.
Yeah.
I think it scares me that I can almost rationalize it much easier that Pierce would be like more comparable to like a Jaden Higgins than he would be to like Brian Thomas or Marvin Harrison. And by ADP, he's going much closer to like those guys who you're lucky to get as your wide receiver 3 on a bunch of your teams, versus like Pierce, and then Higgins is like a wide receiver 5 kind of range. So in my head, it's like, man, we were really drafting Alec Pierce at his complete ceiling, given the vacated targets and the fact they just invested in him with the high salary. But in reality, it's like, I don't know if he can get there. I don't necessarily project him above what he did last year. So that kind of scares me. So I don't find myself drafting him a whole lot versus last year. He's like one of my most drafted players.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that's pretty fair. I don't know. I think what it is for me is like after MHJ goes, I feel like there's such a fall off in those
Yep.
receivers after him. And I think I've just kind of got like comfort click on Alec Pierce where like I don't know, like yeah, like with the efficiency, and then you're just like, oh, they're gonna give him the role, whatever. It's like it feels pretty good grabbing him there. But yeah, I guess there is quite a bit of downside risk just in the sense of there's no guarantee that his target share goes to that like 100+ range or anything like that. So yeah, that definitely. I don't know. That definitely is fair. I don't think I'm like crazy overweight on them, but I think it's such a weak area for receivers. Like not a fan of Lemon. Sutton and Metcalf are fine, but I kind of just feel similar with them to like Pierce, where like at least Pierce I feel like could be like kind of a breakout guy, where those two I feel like you're just kind of winning if you get like an average season from them. But
Makes sense. No, well said.
yeah. All right. Well, we've been on for quite a while. I've held you on for quite a while, but it was a good time. We got into some ball takes. And
Hell
the
yeah.
Dolphins, Alec Pierce drafted hopefully some shippers. Hopefully we'll be splitting $2 million in a couple months. But yeah,
My
I think
my Venmo's waiting in case.
All right. Yeah, just send me the request. January 1st. I'll ship it right over.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man. Good to draft with you again and be on the stream together. Always fun to cut it up. I know you and I have got some more FFPC plans. I think we're both on the like same wavelength. Maybe we wait a little bit longer this year instead of drafting in June. Maybe we draft like in August or something for our FFPC dreams to take flight. But bro, it's hot best ball summer. It's just getting started. We're not even near the peak yet. It's fucking June. It's early. We have so many more drafts to go, and plenty of more drafts to do together. So like, looking forward to it. We'll have a great draft season, and much more to come. Guys, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to Hartman's channel. And Hartman, what do you have coming up next? Are you going live again soon? You've been kind of getting back into your flow. What's your schedule looking like, brother?
Oh yeah, yeah. Trying to hit like 4 times a week, basically.
Nice.
I think I'll be back on Friday. I think
Nice.
that's kind of the plan. Like Monday, Friday, and then kind of one other weekday, one weekend day. That's kind of the goal. But yeah, how about you? I know you got your podcast going, your edge detection. Or what?
Yeah, I'm working on that.
New episode
Yes, sir. I'm a couple of days behind on my last episode release. I've been doing some like editing on my script for my episode 4 that I wasn't really satisfied with, so I didn't push it out on Sunday. And then I had some like life stuff come up the last couple of days, just been busy. So I'm looking to push out my next episode probably tomorrow night, and then I'll do another one Sunday, and like to make up for it. At the same time, I'm moving cities, I'm moving houses, so like I'm doing a big move the next week, and I'm gonna be in my new house in the Austin area, in Georgetown, Texas, which is like the greater Austin area. I'll be there next Thursday night, and then getting set up. So the next week or 10 days for me is going to be kind of like crazy. I'm making a big move. I've lived in this house for like 5 years. I'm about to like move cities, move houses, and a lot of change coming, getting my internet set up, getting my stream all set up again. But I've got a few things planned between now and then. Just some more. I'll be doing some more NFL best ball draft streams on my channel. I'm going to be on Adam's channel, nice and blunt, on Monday night. I think is our plan, and then, or maybe I don't know. I think I have to double check that my scheduling, because I'm even getting confused. But then also I'm going live with Blizzy next week. I think it's on Tuesday, but I'll have to double check the exact date. And I think it was Tuesday. Blizzy and I are going to do like a PGA stream for the US Open, which will be fun. And then Wednesday, I'm doing Best Ball Jeopardy on Fanspeak against Justin Herzig. So I'm going to be live on my own channel like a couple times in the next week. But between the move and a lot of like these guest streams, it's going to be kind of like a hiatus for a bit. But all good things. And I mean, it's fucking June. We got plenty of time. And honestly, like July is one of my least favorite months for drafting. All of my July teams last year did so shitty. Like, I don't know about you, but I would like put the date of the like when I drafted the teams. All of my teams that were like advancing and doing well were essentially from like very early in the draft season or like late. Kind of the barbell approach. Like a lot of my July teams felt like dead on arrival. It was kind of a weird time for the news cycle, the whole Quinshon Judkins things, the legals. So I don't know. July's fine. It's fine for like building up momentum and excitement and keeping up with like the market and like the draft streets and the ADP. But I think looking forward definitely to August. And I think you and I have some plans to like probably go on some FFPC in August this year instead of opting for the earliest draft just for that kind of bonus entry you get in case your team smashes and you make it into like a side pot kind of thing. I don't know if that's actually worth it.
Yeah, no, probably not. And you know, we did take a few of the risks, like we took Rashi Rice.
Rice, we got fucked.
It was right at the time when like all the the Twitter lawyers are all saying he's definitely not getting suspended now. They got rid of it, and then boom, they dropped the hammer like a week later.
You hate to see
it. Yeah, but July's good for time boxes. Yeah, no, I agree. That's true. Time boxes are good whenever you can get into them. But yeah, no. So thank you for coming on. You know, it was a lot of fun. And oh yeah, and if you guys don't know yet, check out that Candyman's podcast, Edge Detection. It's linked in the description below. Obviously, you guys all know the YouTube channel, but just in case you haven't checked out the podcast yet, check it out below. But thanks everyone for stopping by. Thanks Candyman for coming on, drafting some shippers. Peace out, everyone.